Hi everyone, this is Shweta Shaw from Alien Brains and welcome to the seventh day of ISB 2.0. So today we will be starting, first of all, I'll be taking any doubts if you have any. And I think we have had a recap of what we have done till now in our last session. So if you have watched that, definitely there would, if there is something which is something you're not satisfied with or which is troubling you, you can definitely put that in the comment and I'll be answering that. Till then, we will be completing this particular project for today, which was Intelligent Entry System for COVID Security. And this is a project which we have started in our second day only. So this was a long project because first of all had our machine learning part done. Now this was a project which is quite different from the project which we discussed about most of the times, because mostly what IoT with machine learning, if I say, mostly you will be thinking that, okay, first of all, I'll be collecting data, then training it, and then deploying the machine learning part. But here, what was the difference? The difference was that we used a data set which is already available. Okay, because we are working with image data, right? So here, I did not have to collect the data from the sensors and then send it for the training purpose. Okay, now what happens, there can be some kind of data, as I have been discussing about the smart AC, which depends on humidity, temperature outside, presence of number of people present in the room, and etc etc, the month, the latitude, longitude of the location, etc etc. So there what happens, first of all, for few days the sensor will be sensing whatever is happening and sending it to the cloud. Okay, and then in the cloud, when you have got a suitable amount of data, then you use it for training purpose. It might take you some time to process it and then work with it. That is completely fine. And then once it is completely done, then the model which has learned about doing all these things, that model is again deployed in the cloud, which now takes new data and performs accordingly something. So we in this project skipped the first sensor information taking part from the sensor. A, because that was not required, and B, we are not even doing anything where this kind of thing is possible, because we are working with online simulator. Here we are simulating everything, right? So I cannot simulate every behavior that, okay, 32 is there, how would 32 degrees Celsius is there, how would I be behaving? If let's say two people are there, how will I be, what temperature of the AC will I be keeping, and etc etc. Definitely I can still do that, but that would not be real data, right? That would be a data which I think is right. So that will not be generating any true machine learning model. That is why I didn't do that. And here, till now, what we have done, we have trained our model. The model is with us. I think on Thursday, we put the model, we actually combined OpenCV with the model. What was the task of OpenCV? The task of OpenCV was to work as a gateway, so that any what to say, video or any video, any footage can be taken through your webcam and it can be sent to your model, right? So we have done that part. Now let's move to that part where we will be creating our circuit. Now let me just show you what do we have. This particular notebook, you will be getting a copy of this notebook in today's whatever has been shared today, so you can check it out from there. So what things are there? Now this is a motor. Of course, when we are controlling the opening and closing of a door, it can be connected to a motor which maybe rotates from 90 degree, 0 to 90 degree, in what to say, in out kind of movement. But here we are using a motor, so it might happen that your door is connected to this motor using a conveyor belt kind of thing, so that whenever the motor is rotating in any certain angle, so either the door is opening or closing. Okay, you can think of the glass doors which we generally see in malls and everything. Anyway, so This is the motor I'm using. This is a micro servo motor, and here I am using it according to what result is being sent to open through OpenCV. And of course there is just an indicator. Now this was a smart entry system, intelligent entry system. For that, this kind of lighting or indicator is not important, but I'm keeping it there because uh, somehow we like me and the other person who builds the circuit, maybe we feel the circuit is complete once these kind of things are there. So again, this is some unnecessary thing, but even if you keep it there, no problem, because generally you will not be wanting in front of your office there would be a bulb which will be blinking or not blinking according to someone is wearing mask or not. Anyway, so this is what our circuit looks like. Pretty easy. Just look at this micro servo motor. Here again, this will be the movement of the motor or the direction of movement of the motor, or by what angle the motor will be moved, and etc etc. These things are controlled by our computing device, which is Arduino in our case, right? So this device, as any other device, needs two connection, one with the 5 volts, other with the ground. So here you see there are three terminals. I hope this is visible to you. The first one, I mean the leftmost one being the ground. Then we have got this power connection, and then we have got this signal connection. Okay, so what is happening over here? We are connecting. Acha, let's just make this connection so that this is like we can understand what is happening and what is not happening. Okay, let's just try to make one fresh connection. So first of all, I have got the Arduino with me. Next, I need a micro servo. So I'm taking this one. You can do something with this one as well. Okay, just check it out. When you try to make your connection, your circuit, check this one out and see how different it is from this one, the one we are using. Anyways, now connections. First of all, here the breadboards are not required because we have very little components, but if you wish, you can have a breadboard, because the link I shared with you is not having any breadboard. Again, by the way, this is something we want it to be put in some office, like we want to deploy it somewhere. So these kind of things, it's better if you do not add any breadboard or anything, because that will enlarge your component, enlarge your device, right? So let's skip the breadboard for now. So we just have this, some connections, plus 5 volt. This is with the ground. Okay, so let's have black because I don't want to do a blunder like our previous class. So this ground to this particular pin. Okay, next one is the power one. So here I'll be adding it to the 5 volts. Yeah, this is done. Okay, now let's have our next. This is power, this is connected here, right? Yeah, now we have our next thing, which is the signal one. Now this signal, this microcontroller can be controlled by a digital pin. How and like what, in which way you can do it, I'll be just showing you in a while. So let us just connect it to pin 8. Any other pin if you wish to. Okay, so this is it. Now I connected two LED bulbs. So this LED, red for the person not wearing a mask and green for the person wearing a mask. So let me have the red one at the top and the green, acha, the same LED, right? LED, the same here, and make its color green. Now, what is the thing? The cathode will be connected to the ground and the anode will be connected to the to any of the pin, right? Using which we will be controlling the activity across the LED. So let me connect the ground at first. Yeah. Again, this connection over here. Cool. Now, two connections with any one of the digital pins so that we can control our LED bulbs, right? Let me zoom it a bit. Okay, again. Now this is something I hate. Anyway. Mm, just allow me some time. Let's refresh it. Yeah. Okay. Now, the connections with the bulbs, right? So let's have yellow for this. Let me connect this with the pin 13. So 13 is for green, and let me connect the red one with pin number 11. Okay, let's keep it at 12, it is vacant. Okay, so this is what our connection would look like. Now it is always better to have a resistor here, so let us have that. Just let me rotate it. Where did it go? Acha, I deleted it. The resistor here, yeah, and the other resistor here, two resistors for two of the LEDs. Now let me yeah, would be better if I connect this over here. Okay, now this end with pin 13, and this one with 12. Yeah, so I think our circuit looks fine now. So let's just move ahead with it, and let's see what do we write in the code. Okay, so let's start the coding. Let me just go to the text part. Okay, now I'll just zoom it in so that everything is visible clearly. Again, I don't think there is anything happened till now which might cause a problem, but if there is, or if you have any idea or anything, you can share that with me. Now guys, there is one thing I was just thinking, that even if you don't have any doubts, you just think beyond what I have taught you in any day, right? You can think of some project which you want to do or something, and when we end the class or anything like that, or we're having any new doubt session, you can come up with those kind of things, and then we can discuss about those ideas, and what components can be there and things like that, right? Wouldn't that be great? I can share my ideas with you, you can share your ideas with me. So I think that is something which will be really a constructive thing for both of us, for me and for you as well. So I would really love to have sessions like that where if you're not having any doubts, you're coming up with new stuff for me. Okay. If maybe I'm not getting any fresh ideas, so you can suggest me something that you should work on this or that, and we can combinedly think of a solution of any problem. Okay. And right now, what sells, I think you know very well, we are in any, like, whatever app is being developed, whatever product is being developed, that is a solution to a problem only, right? So we should be running our mind every time, at every time. Anyways, now here I want to control a motor, a micro servo motor. So to control this, or to do anything with it, I need one library with me, which is the servo .h. Yes, the servo.h. So how do we include a new library? We just write include, how do we add a new library? Include, where did the bracket go? Yeah, include servo.h. Remember, servo with a capital S. Okay, servo.h. Now, why do we need this? This library is going to allow my Arduino board to control servo motor. So whether I want to rotate it in a direction, or I want to rotate it by a certain angle or things like that, For those, some instructions are written in this library. I'll be using those instructions so that by sending some signal through my Arduino, I can control this micro servo. Okay, now after that, let's have some defines. Okay, so define, I've kept pin 8 as servo motor input, right? Servo 8, and I've kept 13 for red and 12 for green. So let's just have that only. Yes. Just 1 second. What happened? Yeah, here. 13 for red and 12 for green. So red, and this is with 13, and define green, which is with 12. Okay, now what we are going to do, we are going to move it to our setup, void setup method. Now we all know what is this void setup method. For here we make every kind of, like, we set everything up here, right? So the very first thing, for any pin, we need to select in which mode it will be working, right? So let's do that over here. Pin 13 and pin 12, both of them are going to be my output pins through my Arduino, because using these pins I'm going to control the working of the LEDs. Okay, so here this thing is. Now I just want to show some now what is happening over here. How does the circuit work? To give any input to the circuit, the way the output is given through the serial monitor. Now to give any input to the circuit, here also you need to use serial. Okay, that is why I am serial dot begin. I am initiating one serial communication model from here, and here I'm also mentioning what will be the baud rate, money, how many beats per second would be, can be sent here. Okay, now after that, let's come to the part which is new to us. Here I need to use two commands. First one, acha, by the way, the moment I included this library servo, I need to have one variable of this type. Okay, servo d. You can have any other name for this variable, but this variable, acha, I hope it is visible. Yes, but this visible is something which can be, like, this variable is something which has all the functionality of the library servo. Okay, now coming back over here, the first thing I need to do here, instead of mentioning what will be the pin mode at pin 8 over here, I need to use this method called servo d dot attach. Of course, the method is called attach only, servo d, because I have named a variable like that which is of type servo. So attach, and here goes the pin number which using which you will be attaching your Arduino with your servo motor. Okay, it attaches the servo variable to a pin of Arduino. Servo variable mane that pin which is taking any signal. So this is the thing over here. Yeah. So we need to write servo d dot attach so that it knows that this pin is the one which from which I'm supposed to take signals and everything. Okay. After that, let's move ahead. And first of all, let me just simulate this, see what happens. Just a moment. Yeah. So start simulation. So I have not written anything yet. See, I have not written anything. This is the servo motor. Just notice it. Yeah. When I start the simulation, it rotates. Okay. It rotates by a certain angle, and it rotates by 90-degree only. So what happens here? This is default that whenever the system is like getting any power or thing like that, this motor is going to rotate by 90 degrees. That is why what I am going to do here, I am going to initially keep it at 0 degrees only. Okay, so I need to stop the simulation. I'm going to keep it at 0 degrees only. For that, I need to use the function servo d dot right, and here you can put any angle by which you want to rotate your motor, and for that rotation whatever signal is required, this servo library is going to fetch that signal through the Arduino on its own. Okay, so you do not need to do anything from the Arduino to the motor. You just write what is your motive, or what do you want to do with the servo, and it is then going to help you with whatever is required there. Okay, so this is the thing, and now if I simulate this and show you, let me just stop. So it is not rotating to 90 degrees anymore. Okay, so this is the thing over here. Till now what we have done, defined some pins. Then here, acha, I have defined it as servo, so this should be servo. Then here I am including a new library servo.h and creating a variable of that type. This is going to help me in making communications between my Arduino board and my servo motor. Inside the void setup, I'm setting the pin type, pin mode. I'm initializing the serial communication and everything. Two important things. I need to tell the servo library which pin of Arduino is connected to the servo motor signal point, so that it can fetch the signals accordingly. Okay, and first of all I'm writing 0 in the servo D so that it is not rotating to 90 degrees, which is the default rotation. Okay, so this part is done here. Now what I need to do, I need to start out my main function, which is nothing but the void loop. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, guys, the first thing, whatever is the output, okay, whatever is the output of my OpenCV's result, that needs to go here, that needs to go here. And here in Tinkercad, there is only one way of sending some input to a project or a circuit like this. That is using the serial monitor. That is using the serial monitor only. Okay, so here also I'm going to use the serial, like here you can give any input, and you can, once you press enter or just click this send button, see one, and then if I click, acha, this will not be sent if it is not simulating, but if you press the enter button it will be sent here. So in this way we are going to create like we are going to send the input accordingly. So how I'm connecting the OpenCV with this is something of later. Now let's see whatever the input is, depending on that let me write what the circuit should be doing. Okay, so in the void loop the first thing I should be doing, I should be checking whether there is any input or not, right? So if serial dot available is is not equal 0, sorry, then we will be doing something. Okay, so I'm checking if serial dot available is not equals to 0. Now what serial dot available does, this function gets the stored bytes from the serial port. Okay, that the, like those bytes which are available for reading, that means the data arrived in serial buffer. So it is checking if there is any data in the serial buffer. If yes, then we will be doing something. If no, then we will not interested in doing anything. Okay, so this is the thing over here. I need to first of all check whether there is any input or not. If there is the input, then I'll be doing certain task. If not, then it's all clear over there only. Okay. Now, remember, let me just show you if you do not remember. Yeah, here there were two cases. Less or equals to 0.5 was the case where 0 was, let me check out here. 0 was for with mask. That means less than 0.5 if it is there, then this is for with mask. Okay, that means 0 means with mask and 1 means without mask. Okay, 0 means with mask and 1 means without mask. So depending to that, we are going to do whatever we want to do in our circuit. So the first thing I need to do, I need to read what is the input to the circuit, right? I mean, I need to know in order to, just a second. I have two questions. Can the servo motor rotate one? Can the servo motor rotate 180 degrees clockwise from the initial point? Yes, it can. Akshayan is asking. Okay, Akshayan is actually answering, not asking. Anyway, so let's move ahead. And so first of all, what I need to do, I need to read the input which is given through my serial port, right? Here, the function which we will be using is serial dot parse int. Okay, now what this is going to do, this is going to read me any integer value, especially the first valid integer value. That means if there is any character or any string kind of values, and even yeah, any character, any string kind of values, so it is not going to read them. Okay, so those things are just skipped, and only integers are being read from here. Okay, now I need to store it somewhere, right? So let's have uh, a variable name inp, that is the input. And for that, here what is happening, yeah, so what I need to do, because I am using a variable, I need to declare that variable before I use it, right? So I am just declaring the same variable with type int. Okay, now so whatever is the input is going to be read inside this INP, right? Now here what I need to do, so what was the scenario? Pin 0, let me write it down here because I'm only forgetting it again and again. Pin, sorry, input 0 means 0 was with mask, yeah, with mask. And input 1 means without mask. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I need to check whether this is 1 or 0, right? I need to check whether this value is 1 or like whatever is being read from the serial dot available, it is 1 or 0. So let's first write for our with mask case. Okay, with mask. So if inp equal 0, so this is the condition for with mask, right? If inp equals 0, then what we want to do, see what are the things there. The first thing, if the person is wearing a mask, so at that time I want to send a high signal. If the person is wearing the mask, then I want to send a high signal to this LED so that it can lit up. Okay, now let me just do that. Yeah, so the green one will be getting a high signal. So digital dot write, oh sorry, not digital dot, digital write here green, and this will be send a high signal. Now it might happen that previously there was some person because of whom the red LED was low, right? Sorry, was high. So in that case, it might happen that the red LED is already glowing, and in this case, if I glow the green LED as well, so two of them will be blinking, right? It might happen. So just before making the green one high, I'm going to make the digital right, the red one low. Okay, I want to make the red one low. Okay, so here we are done with this putting any color of like any color of LED on blink on turned on mode or turned down mode. Okay, now let's just have a print command as well, but it is up to, if you don't want to, then no issues. Sorry, serial dot print ln, and here mask detected. Okay, Let's write the other case as well. Till now I have not written what will happen in the motor. Okay, let's write the other case as well. The other case is else else if inp is not equals to, yeah, inp equal 1 or is not equals to 1, a 0, whatever you want, you can try that. In that case I'll be doing reverse of it, right? So first of all, red green will be given a low signal and red will be given a high signal. After that, serial monitor will be giving out mask not detected, not detected. Okay, so this is fine, right? This point is fine. Now the next point is, how do we control the rotation of your motor from here, right? Let's just try one thing. Let me just try servo d dot write 180 here. Servo d dot write 180. Okay, mane I wanted to make a rotation from 0 to 180 degrees. Matlab from here, if you're looking at this blade, then from here to this point. Actually, it is called shaft, but anyways, this to this point. Okay, and in the next portion, let me simply write. I want it to be here at 0 degrees again. Okay, so this is the thing I'm doing over here. Now what we have done, if it is taking any input 0, which is the input 0 which is for with mask sign, so green should lit up and the motor should turned up at 180. And if the opposite is the case, that means without mask, then red would lit up and mask not detected would be printed and the motor should be moving 0 degrees, right? So let me just try to simulate it. Yeah, so let's start the simulation. Okay, what happened? A colon. Acha, here I forgot to give a colon. Okay, now it's there. Nothing is happening right now. Look at the LEDs and the motor. Now if I give 0, which is for with mask, green will be turned on and the motor should come to 180 degrees, right? So let me give 0. Mask detected is printed, green is turned on, and also if you noticed, the motor rotated, right? The motor rotated to 180 degrees. Okay, just a second. Yeah, and over here, if I send 1, I'm just clicking 1 and sending it. So it just turned to the red part and it just went on to the the clockwise direction, right? So again, if it is getting 0, which is mass detected, it will be moving from here till here. So you can imagine a conveyor, a belt kind of thing. You can imagine a belt kind of thing like this. Okay, so whenever this is rotating, and this is connected to a door maybe. So whenever this is rotating like this, okay, whenever this is rotating, this is pulling the door to this side and the door is opening. So whenever this is rotating this way, the door is opening. Whenever it is rotating to this way, so the door will be closed because it will be pushed in this direction. Similarly, the door will be pushed in that direction. Okay, so yeah, let me just Yeah, I think I have checked both the things, right? One money, no mass detected, mass not detected. What happens? See, it is turning like this. Okay, if zero, see, this end will come to this end completely because it is a 1 degree, 180 degrees rotation, and for one, this end should go up to this end again. Okay, so see, this is going there, and definitely the change in the led is also taking place. So this would be my circuit. You can make it as so complex as you want. You can display some message, please wear the mask and things like that. Now there is one more thing you can do in the smart entry system. Let me just tell you that right now only. In the enter system, you might want to have a temperature sensor as well. Acha, not the temperature sensor, the one which takes the atmospheric temperature. No, not like that. The IR temperature sensor, using which the gun kind of thing, which is used in every mall and everywhere to check the uh, temperature. Actually, there was an airport in Dubai which actually used this kind of a system. I don't remember what was the task, but it was detecting whether the person is wearing a mask, and it was not an NT system actually, whether the person is wearing a mask or not, and what is the temperature of that person. And I think it was just that checking. I don't remember. It might be an entry system or it might be something else. But yeah, this kind of thing has been implemented already. So you can add those kind of things here as well. That means the temperature sensor kind of stuff here. Anyways, so this is what where I'm stopping, because I cannot use an eye temperature sensor, because I'm not going to go in front of it. Like, I did not use it, but you can definitely use it, so that you know, if like whatever happens, you will be building the thing accordingly. So coming back to this part, this is the place where I have done my coding. Right now, this is like I'm done with this thing. Now comes the point: how do I read the value? Ideally, this was your laptop. Again, I'm a very bad drawing maker, so now this was our Arduino and blah 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 stuff related to it. From here, it might have happened that from here your like whatever your model is running on the uh, laptop, it is taking the image through the webcam, and it is getting some result. So in general, ideally what we will be doing, either that will be sent through the, like, the way any input is sent through the serial monitor part, it can be made to do that, or the value could have been stored in some cloud, and there would have been some material over here which can read any information from the cloud, and this will be sending the data. And in our case, both of the things not possible, because we are using online simulator. We do not have any components which can make communication to cloud, or which can send or receive data from the system to somewhere else. Okay, this kind of thing, like one of such module was ESP8266, if I'm not wrong with the number. Let me just check. ESP8266. Yeah, right. Yeah. So, but now it was available in Tinkercad, but now I don't know what happened, because of some security reason. That component is no longer available in Tinkercad. So we cannot make this cloud wala communication, neither can we make this direct wala communication. Okay, I mean, I can make this direct communication, but I will have to automate the stuff. That means I will be automating my whole model in such a way that whatever is the output, this is sent to the Tinkercad automatically, and depending on that, Tinkercad will be the model in Tinkercad will be performing. Okay, so here I am going to take the help of automation with Python. Okay, and I'm going to automate this whole thing, like the whenever the result is zero point 0.5, so the less than zero point 0.5, that means near to zero, that means the value is very close to, the value is very close to like 0, that means the person is wearing the mask. Okay, the person is wearing the mask, so I'll be sending 0 over there. If the person is not wearing the mask, this is what my network detected, so I'll be sending a 1 over there. Okay, I am going to take the help of automation in all these things so that we are just stick to the online simulator part. Okay, now it was possible for us to have a camera always focused in my hand where I'm connecting everything from here. Like I have a physical Arduino, physical ESP8266, physical Raspberry Pi, and I'm connecting everything from here. Like I'm working with physical device and I'm just streaming a video of it and you're watching it, and then you're understanding, but you are bounded. You do not have those components with you. Cannot do that, right? That is why we try to keep everything as online as possible. So that is why this is also a method using which we are going to make this communication here. Elsewhere you would have made the communication in some other means. What means could have been there, we will be checking that out in the second part of today's session, that means after the break. Okay, so coming to this point, I'm going to do some automation. So for automation you require few of the things. Okay, for automation you require few of the things. One of them is a library which is called Selenium. Pip install Selenium. Pip install Selenium. So you need to install Selenium. What Selenium is? It is a library which makes the web automation possible for you. Okay, it is a library or a tool to do web automation. You can use either Java or Python. Like Selenium is available in Java and Python. I think, yeah, these are the only two languages in which Selenium is available. So this is a Python library, or you can think of it as a toolkit and things like that. Okay. So here, what we are going to do, first of all, I need to install this Selenium. So for that, what were the steps previously? You need to go to CMD and run it as an administrator. Okay, sorry. Yeah, now here you need to write pip install Selenium. Okay, pip install Selenium, and then just click enter. This is going to collect Selenium and install for you. It will be taking hardly 2 minutes to do this. So I'm waiting for you. You can check this command out from here and download it in your device. Pip install Selenium. Meanwhile, anyone having any doubts, you can ask. Till the time other people are downloading or installing Selenium. Command prompt, then run as administrator, then pip install. Okay, I think we are good to restart from here. After installing Selenium, you need to have one other thing, which is ChromeDriver. What it is? It is a kind of web driver. So what happens? Selenium is actually a toolkit which gives you some Python code already written, using which you can write some program to automate your task. Okay, you can write some program to automate your task. But to do so, like you're writing your code, let's say you're writing it in Sublime, and whatever you want to what to say automate, or whatever you want to do over the internet, that will be happening over the internet, right? Now you need to have something which can connect your program to the internet, right? And that something is this Chrome driver or web driver. This is this web driver. Now, sorry, depending on other like what search engine you are using, or like what search engine you want to use. Depending on that, you can decide either to use ChromeDriver or to use Gecko driver. Gecko driver is if you want to use Firefox. Okay, you have got this Gecko driver. The command doesn't change much if you're using ChromeDriver or Gecko driver, but we are going to start working with ChromeDriver, and definitely the downloading process changes a bit, but the command are, I would say, 90% similar. Okay, so the next thing we are going to get is ChromeDriver. For that, you'll have to go to Google and then search download ChromeDriver. Yeah. You need to search download ChromeDriver. That is all. Once you do that, you can now click on this first link which is appearing here, which is chromedriver.chromium.org's link. Just click on this. This is the official website of the Chrome driver. Now this is asking which version do you want to download. Okay, and you can decide that by knowing what is your Google version. For that, go to the help. Like there is actually these three dots at the extreme right of the tab, and here this thing help. From here, go to this about Google Chrome. Okay, from there go to about Google Chrome, and over there, what do you see here? Yeah, your version is 92. Okay, if it is something like 93.0 point something, your version becomes 93. Whatever is the first two digit, that is your version. Okay, so mine right now is 92. So let me just go back to the Chrome driver page, and from here I need to download this Chrome driver 92.0 blah blah blah. Now here, depending on what is your device, you need to download one of the available things from there. Just one moment. Yeah. Now, depending on whether you're using Linux or Windows, you can decide which one to use. I'm using Windows, that is why win32.zp. And this will be like in a compressed way, that means WinRAR zip archive format. Now, once you get this, what you need to do, okay, I'm just giving you 1 minute. If you're following along, just do till here. Check your Google's version, and then accordingly download. Okay, so let's move ahead from here. Yeah, now this thing you need to just open it in the folder, show in folder. Now what you need to do, you need to unzip it. And how can you do that? Just right click and extract files here, or at whatever location you want to just extract the file. Okay, so I'm just clicking on OK. Fine. So I think there would be, yeah, there is this new, let me just check. Where did it got unzipped? Let me just check it. I'll just search for ChromeDriver.exe. Yeah. See, now as it just got unzipped, there this ChromeDriver.exe is present. Okay, let me just show you where it is. ChromeDriver. Yeah. Where is it? .exe. Yeah, this is the thing. This thing got decompressed from there. So you need to have the path of this application. Okay, just go to the property ChromeDriver.exe. So you need to have the path of this application. You can copy the path from here. Copy the path from here, and you need to also write the name ChromeDriver.exe, but just copy the path from here. Or whatsoever place you have located place this thing at, just copy the path from there. And now, yeah, just do the following the steps I asked you to do, and then we'll move to the next part. Till the time, I'll try to uninstall it because I already have things. Yeah, I think I need to delete it. Delete. Yeah, because I've already got my Chrome driver, which I generally use for my work. So yes. um I hope the steps are clear. You whatever you installed, that whatever you downloaded, if that is in zip format, you need to unzip it. If you did not change the location which was shown, that is holding this ChromeDriver.exe. If it is not shown the way it was not shown over here in my folder, you can just click, just search for the Chrome driver. So it will be shown in the under the apps uh, category. Okay. So once you have got this ChromeDriver.exe, you need to have the location, because as you can see, this is an application. So something or someone will be running it. But as we are doing some automation task, we are not going to run anything. Our devices are going to run the things for us. Okay. So coming back to my code. Starting from here, the starting part is my automation part. First thing first, you need to have this from Selenium import WebDriver. That means Selenium is a library. Inside that, there is this uh, other module named WebDriver, and you just imported this WebDriver from there, right? So you just have it over here, and you will be using this WebDriver depending on like for everything. Okay, as I told you, the web drivers are the thing which makes some connection between your program and the internet, right? So we will be using it for that purpose. Now see, I asked you to get the location of this ChromeDriver.exe, right? For me, the location was this. I'll just show you. I have this in my C drive only. So in the C drive, I have this folder named web drivers, and here I have got this Chrome driver, which I use generally. So I have kept the path as CD. In your code, I think you have got this code already. In your code, you need to change this part depending on where you have saved your Chrome driver.exe. So you will have to change this thing only, because the other parts are already like it will be the same for both of us, right? So this path is the directory in which your Chrome driver.exe is residing. Now, I mean, it is the path of the Chrome driver.exe only. Now, you have to create an object like that connection I'm talking about. You need to create that connection, and using that connection only you will be working ahead. Okay. So I have written WebDriver, which is this module. And in the module, there is a class called .chrome, where everything is mentioned related to Chrome. Like whatever automation you do in Chrome, like there are functions related to that in this class. So WebDriver.chrome, and inside this, you need to pass the current directory as like the path of the current directory. Okay, so you need to do this over here and give this any name. I have given driver somewhere. If you are interested, see, automation is something now whoever learns it, just fall interested for it. Like you can do automation for any purpose. If you wanna wish someone good morning every day in the morning and you want that to be automated, you can do that. You can automatically block Facebook from your laptop for some moment, for some time. You can automate logging into some other place. You can automate that. Okay, let's say you have kept this stock market wala thing. Okay, like you have bought some stocks and you can automate what is the, if the price of your stock goes up, you will sell it at that moment only. Okay, you can do any kind of automation, whatever web automation you want to do, you can do that. Anyways, that is a completely different thing. I get a bit excited about automation because it's really easy and really fun to create codes for automation. Anyways, so this driver thing is there. This is the connection. I told you that selenium, I told you that this selenium is there, which has a lot of functions and everything written. And then this is the whole internet. Okay, the whole internet, of course, much bigger than this one. Now you're writing some line of codes to automate things, and those things will be automated here. But there needs to be some connection between these two, and this connection you made using webdriver.chrome, and now this internet will be accessed using Chrome. That is why you use webdriver.chrome. If you were using Gecko driver, so you would have used webdriver.firefox. That is for using Firefox as a search engine. Anyways, now this connection, you're naming this connection driver. You could use any other thing. Mostly use names are driver and browser, but it is just like naming some variable. So you can use any other thing if you wish to. Anyways, this is the thing over here. So yeah, now whatever instructions you send from here, you will write the instruction, but that instruction would be given to this driver, and this driver would be going here and doing the task for you. So if you want to, let's say, quit a page, you will be write driver dot quit. Okay, if you want to refresh the page, whatever page is there on the browser, see, you cannot automate a page, you can automate the browser. Whatever is there in the browser, you can automate that. So if you want to refresh the page through your browser, then you will have to write driver dot refresh. I know it doesn't look like English, it looks like some other language, but yeah, I tried to write some English. Anyways, so this is the thing over here. So what I was trying to say, whatever instruction you give to this driver, to the internet, like for the automation of the internet, you give that using the driver. Okay, so now let's just go back to our code. The first thing, whenever you open, let me just have, yes, so whenever you open Tinkercad, abhi to it will be taking my credentials. But if you open it, okay, so I am logged in here, and if I sign out, probably I'll be signed out in all the, yeah, it is fine over here. So this Tinkercad, and now whenever you open Tinkercad, let's just open the login part here. So again, I'm just here, but whenever you open, let me just log out. Yeah, whenever you open Tinkercad, there are options to sign in. This option appears over here, right? If you like, whenever you try to run anything, it will ask you to log in and everything. So the first thing you need to do, you need to log in. So just mention the steps, and if possible, try to note it down. First step, I opened Google. Second step, I opened this link, tinkercad.com/login. In this link, these are the options. Let me go with this sign in with Google part. Okay, so let's say I signed in. Okay, I signed in. Now here comes some options for me. Use another account or use this one. It will not be coming in the new tab which will be opened using your program. So it will directly be taking you to this part. Okay, whenever you click on that Google tab, it will be taking you on this part. Now here, just write whatever email address you want to use. Let's say abc@efg.com. Once you write whatever whatever your email ID is, then you need to click on next. Okay, after that you need to put your uh, password, and then again you need to click the next. Then the Tinkercad will be coming up with everything like the circuit and the 3D network kind of options. Okay, so what were the steps? I hope it is clear. First of all, you open Google, then you open the link, okay, of login. Then you go on to open, like, you need to select which option you want to log in with. Then you just select, you just give your email ID. If you have chosen Google, you give your email ID, then next, then again you give your password, then again some next, right? This will be for the login part. So let's see how do I do this using Selenium. So here I have got this dummy email and password values. You'll have to change it with your credentials, whatever they are. So I had just stored them as string. Okay, I have stored them as strings over here. So email is a variable which is holding a string. This is what it is. And password is again a variable which is holding the string values. Okay, now what was the first step? The first step was to open Google Chrome, right? So that, for that, let me just do one thing. Just allow me some time. Let me comment everything, and then I'll keep on showing you what happens whenever you click on some certain thing. Okay, sorry, whatever happens when you run some certain part of code. So it would be easier for us to understand what is, like, what we are actually doing. If I just keep on telling, just explaining the code, it will be worth nothing, isn't so? Of course, this whole part is going to be comments. Yeah, so I've commented everything over here. Only this driver dot this web driver equals to webdriver dot chrome is there. Okay, let me comment this part as well. Now, if you just run this, to run it, you need to press Control B. See, a blank. Okay, what is happening? Some code is running, which mm, is it working fine here? Just allow me some time. Oh, I need to save it again. Sorry, save it, and now let me run it. So when I ran it, see, a Google tab appeared, but here nothing is happening beyond that. So the first step, which was to open the Google, for that this thing is there. This driver equals to webdriver.com. Okay. Now the second step was to move on to the login link, right? And the link for that, is given over here. You can see this one. It will be present in your notebook, which I have shared with you, the Python notebook. So this is the link we want to open once I have got into Google, like I've opened Google. Okay, so I'm going to run this from here. So you can open any link using the function .get, the driver .get. Why? Because this is your browser and you want to open a link in the browser. That is why this driver.get thing is there. Okay, that means from this browser you're asking, get me this link, okay. So here what happens, let me show you. And after this link, I'm using this time.sleep. Now this time.sleep is something similar to your delay in Arduino coding. Okay, that means time.sleep, time is a library, Python library. It is an inbuilt library. That means you do not need to install it, you can directly use it. And time.sleep is going to hold your code at the line 11 for maybe 2 seconds. Okay, sorry, for 2 seconds definitely. So let me just run this. So I have written driver.get and the link which I wanted to open up. So let's just run it and see, this is trying to open up. Now here, as this is a fresh tab, it has no it cannot read any information, any cache memory and things like that. That is why you are taken to this page, and see here at the top it is written Chrome is being controlled by automated test software. Now from here, what you need to do, let me just yeah, maximize this. From here, I asked you that okay, sign in with Google. If you want to do something else, like there are other options as well, sign it with Microsoft or sign it with Facebook, you can try any other thing, but for in my code it is written in a way so that you can sign it using your Google credentials. For that, what you need to do here, you need to click on this, right? But what you actually did, first of all, you came to this page. Let's say you're looking at this page for the first time, so you searched what is the thing you want to click. So you search that okay, this is the thing I want to click, and now you will be clicking it. Two-step thing, right? First of all, searching what element you're interested in, and secondly then clicking it. Sorry. Now what happens, we will be doing the same thing. That means in our page we will be searching where this element is, and then we will be clicking it. But we cannot do it right here. Like we can see it and we can work ahead with this thing, but we will actually, through our code, we will be accessing the source code of this page. The source code of this page is nothing but an HTML source code which is behind this page. That means whatever whatever you're seeing, there are some line of codes related to that. If you're seeing this logo, this must be an img element in the HTML code, right? So the developers have put some code in every display you're seeing here, and there are like whatever is happening in the backend, those things are also stored here, right? So you want to see the source code, and then you want to see how this element is stored so that you can have some access over this element and then click on it. For that, you need to see how the source code, right? And to get the source code, just press Control Shift I, or you can just go to you can just have a, you can have a right click and just go to this inspect. Okay, so it will be taking you to the source code of this page. Don't think, अरे ये तो सिर्फ 4 लाइन का code है. No, all the things are hidden. See, the way you will keep on in expanding things, you will be getting this. Now you'll ask me, okay, now do I need to read the whole code to understand where this is stored? No, there is this select button. Just click on this. If you click on it, it will turn blue. I don't know how visible it is, so I cannot even zoom in this part, so I don't know how visible it is. But the very first icon in the inspect wala portion, this select button, if you click on it, it turns blue. Now you just go to this thing, okay, this thing over here, and you will be saying, okay, this is as stored as a span element. Okay, the element is the very first thing inside the, okay, let me first of all tell you, everything is in HTML is stored as some element of different types. There are elements such as input, such as div, such as span, okay, such as img, things like that. The way we have data type, here we have element types. Okay, now whatever is the element, that will be the very first thing in the bracket. Let's say it is a span element, so the name span will be written. And of course there would be some other things related to those elements, so those things will be uh, represented here as some attribute. Attributes are nothing but some properties of the elements. Let's say the id of this element is 1, so it will be like id equals to 1, comma. Other attribute, let's say there is a class as button, So the class equals to button. This kind of attributes are there. So what are the elements? Everything over the page is represented as an element in your HTML code. Secondly, every element which has will have some properties in it, and these properties are nothing but called the attributes. So now just come back to this page and see, this is actually a span element with the class link hyphen step hyphen label, okay, with this class. So the you can do two things. Let me see what I have done. Yeah. So now what you need to do to find this particular element from there, you need to write a code for that in your program, right? So that your program can access the page source and then write a code to find this kind of element. So here you need to have something to recognize the element, right? So any element can be recognized using various facts, such as you can check the ID, the class, the value of the attributes, or you can write a X path of your element. Now you'll ask me, what is X path? Now just think, when you're in your home, there is a certain address, right? Let's say ABC by 123, comma XYZ lane, comma uh, DEF city, comma MNO state, right? And then pin code 123456. This kind of thing is your address. When you're in your college, then your address is different, right? Let's say I like what my address would have been. My address would have been section C, second year, computer science and engineering department, and there my roll number 210, right? This would be my address. Similarly, if you're at your office, now I'm at my office, so it is Alien Brains. There is some address of the office, then it is Alien Brains. Then to reach there, I'm sitting at some certain cabin, right? Where is the mentor, ML mentor, and things like that. So to recognize anything, there are some addresses. Similarly, here in the source code, there are different addresses of the elements. There are different addresses of the elements, and these addresses are called XPath. Now, this is like a very simple one, which we spoke right now. These are a bit not tricky, not difficult, just some syntax are there. Okay, so let me first of all explain you how are the syntax, like how are the things stored over here, like how is any X path created. The first thing you need to do, X path, yeah, the first thing you need to do, you need to add two slashes like this. Okay, let me start. Two slashes, two forward slashes. Then goes the name of the element you want to search for. Name of the element you want to search for. But the name of something is not enough, right? Why? Because it is not possible. My college was IEM Kolkata. It was not possible to just go to my college and say, where can I find Shweta Shaw? Because there would be a lot of Shweta Shaws in the college. There can be a lot of Shweta Shaws, right? So it would be better if you say, where can I find Shweta Shaw from CSE department? Or where can I find Shweta Shaw from CSE third year? Okay, so the more the information about the element you have, the more it will be easier for, and the more right finding or right XPath would be there. So you have this name of element. After that, the properties of the elements are nothing but stored as the attributes of the elements. And if I have to show you the attribute, the way over here, yeah, over here, this span element is having the value of the attribute class as link step label. Some other value, I don't see the bigger, this A element, which is related to this particular banner here, this A element is having class where a very long name of the class is written, then it is having some href value. Okay, so various things will be having various attributes and things like that. Now, what we are interested in this span element, right? So after the name of the element, here you need to mention at the rate, then the name of the attribute with which you want to check. If you want to check with the ID, just write ID. If you want to check with the class, just write class.
If you want to check with the name is also a kind of attribute which will be there. You can write name. So different attributes will be there. So the next part would be name after the @ sign, name of attribute. Okay. Now, in not only the attribute, there are some values as well, right? You're not saying Shweta Shaw, a student, but you're also saying Shweta Shaw, student of CSE. So I am like, what is my department? Department is my attribute, but the value of the department is what is defining me, right? So my department is CSE. So if you only say that the department is CSE, that then only the people will be able to recognize me. Similarly, here also you need to mention what is the value of the attribute you want to check. So here you can write equal and then goes the value. Okay, and then just end it. Acha, by the way, this value goes with some quotes. If you are using single quotes here, you will be using double quotes here. Okay, so these are the things here. This is what a XPath looks like. Okay, now if let's say there is a page, you write the XPath, defined XPath of this A material here. Okay, or just let's go to this. Wait, yeah, this A element here. Now, this A is not exactly this sign in with Google button, right? See, inside this A, there is this span element which is holding the Google ka logo. And then the second span element is the text area. And you need to click on the text area, right? So you can have these kind of, what to say, nested thing where you write the X part of this and then you write /span. /span money, you go to this. Slash money, you're entering in the element. Okay, and then if there are two span, you write span 1, span 2, things like that. So that kind of nested XPath can be there. Now, coming back to the problem, what happened? We have come to this link, but now I need to click on this sign in with Google. So you need to write a function which is, you need to use a function which is nothing but this thing, driver dot find element by XPath. So this function will be taking any XPath and it will be trying to find an element which has the similar XPath in the page source. And the reference to that element is something we are storing here. So I'm writing, let me just remove this thing and let me have the comment here. I'm writing this Google equals to driver.find element by XPath, and here some XPath is also there. I'll come to this, how can you generate it. But this thing means that the find element by XPath is going to take this XPath and it is going to give some of the element with the similar XPath, find it and then store it, store a reference of it as Google. Okay, so this thing is there. Now you need to know which XPath you like. How can you generate the XPath, right? One way I told you, but the other way is also there. Just go to the element you're interested in and right click on it. Right click on the element in the source code, okay, and then just go to the copy. After the copy, just go to the copy X path, okay, and if I show you how what it copies, see, it just copies a nested X path. Now if I try to make you understand what it is, so it starts with this star. Money star, yeah, at this place, the name of element should be there, right? But if you mention star, this means everything, every element. Star means every element will be checked. So the element can be anything, but the ID of that element should be content. So you're trying to find such an element, you don't know what is the type of the element, whether this is an image, this is a, what to say, a span element, a div element or what, but you want to find that element which has ID content. From there you want to go inside this div and from there you go inside this main. Let me show you how it travels in, how it takes you through the code. Okay, so first of all you're trying to find something. What was the path? Something, some element with the ID equals to content. So I'll just go to the page and then I'll search this content. Okay. At somewhere it would be stored as some id equals to content. Uh, just give me a moment. Yeah, I think I just missed it. Some element with id equals to content. Actually, let me write the whole thing. id equals content. Do we find it like this? Okay, I'm not able to find it like this. So let me just, yeah, this is the thing there. See, this div element. This div element, I'm sorry, I'm not able. Let me just try zooming it from here. Is it possible? I don't think it is possible. Let me, okay, it is zoomed in. Let me reduce this. Let me expand it towards this. Yeah. And is there a way to reduce this? Cancel. No. Okay. So this div element, which just got lost again. Yeah, this div element, this is the one which is starts the X path. Okay, at the starting, you have any element with ID content. After that, go to the div. So inside this div element, this div. Okay, so it goes inside this div. So let's just click it. After that, let's just go to the main, and from there go to ng hyphen component. So after the div, go to main and then go to this ng hyphen component. Okay, in this ng hyphen component, and see, the moment I just go to any element, something lights up on the page, because it lights up or it highlights the part of the page which is having this element in the source code. So I'm at the ng component. Then from there, where do I need to go? Then main, then section, then div. Okay, let's do it part by part. Then main, then section, then div. Okay, after this div, where do I need to go? Then div 1. Mane 3 times div, and then the first div. So this div, then this div, then this div, then this div. So this is your first div. Okay, div 1, mane in this div there can be multiple div elements present. So that is why it is, wait, am I right? Okay. So if I close this, see, inside this div, there are two divs, right? So it is saying div 1, mane this one. This is div 2. It is not taking you there. It is taking you here, div 1. Okay, so inside div 1, where do you need to go? Just check it out again. Inside div 1 to the A3 and the span 2. Okay, so inside this div 1, you need to go to A3. This is A1 and this is A2 and this is A3. To A3, then the span 2, right? Span 2 was there. A3 span 2. So this A3 and then the span 2. And if you see on the left side, the same banner is highlighted where sign in with Google is written. So using this XPath, you will be finding this element, and then you'll be clicking it. So let us just go. Now you know how to copy the XPath, right? Right click on the element, where whatever element you're interested in, then go to copy, and then just go to the copy XPath. And your XPath would be copied. Just go to your, let me just go to the code, and just go to your code. Let me just write whatever should be written initially. Just a moment. Yes. Yeah, this whole thing. Now, what needs to be there? Just write this function driver.find element by XPath, give a single quote, and then paste it. Okay, why giving a single quote is important outside? Because till now I've been saying ki in Python single quote or double quote does not matter, but it does matter some at some places. Here, see, some double quote is being used internally. That is why externally you will be using single quotes. Else it will be giving you some error. Now, once this is done, I'm storing whatever element will be found out. I'm storing that element as Google. and then I'm writing google.click. So any element dot click will be clicking the element. That's all. Very simple. So I'm just running it, just see what happens, and I'll be closing the page which was opened before. So here, see, it got clicked without me doing anything, and it took me to this page. Okay, now just minimize it. See, I kept a time.sleep for 2 seconds. Now what happens whenever you try to open or load a new page, it might take some time depending on what is the network speed at your location, right? If your network speed is slow, then it is going to take a longer time for the page to be loaded completely. If your network speed is fast, then it is fine. That is why I'm just holding it for 2 seconds so that it can the page can load completely, because whenever a new page is loaded, first of all the source code is loaded in the backend, then whatever the page displays, that is loaded in any of the engines. Okay, so I'm giving 2 seconds to load the page, and then I'm finding for the elements. So it might happen sometimes you get some error in the find element place, and the error can say that no such element is present. Understand that you have not given the time to load the page, that is why it is happening. So this was an important thing here. Now when you have clicked the button, you saw what happened, right? This appeared. Now what do I need to do? I need to click on this email or phone place, and then I need to start typing, right? I need to, like, not typing, but I need to, I've saved my email, I need to pass my email to this place. To do so, you need to know how this box is stored in the um, source code, right? So again, either click on Control Shift I or directly right click and then inspect. Now I'll again take this selector and go here and see what it is here. This thing over here is an input element with type email, and then there is certain class name also given. Okay, again you can do two things: either copy the XPath by doing the same method, or you can write the XPath. Now let's see what I have done here. I have written the XPath. Okay, let me just remove this particular code from there. Let me put it here. Now, driver.find element by XPath, and here what I'm doing, I'm writing the XPath. See, I've written that I'm looking for an input element with type equals to email. Okay, so this is the XPath, some XPath I've written, but you can also copy the XPath from there. It is completely up to you. Then whatever this element is, either you save this element, okay, and then element dot send key in the next line, the way we saved the element as Google and then did Google dot click in the next line, or directly search for the element and use the method along with it. So I'm using this time send dot keys. This dot send keys. What send keys does, as the name is suggesting, you send some key to the element you have searched, and by key I mean some value. Okay, so here whatever email I had, email, yeah, uh, this email which I have saved here, this email I am passing to that element which I found from this XPath. Okay, so I just sent this email from here. Once that is sent, I then try to find, see, once the value is sent. Acha, let me just show you up to this part where the value is getting sent over there. Okay, so let me just run it. Just notice the page. Sign in with Google. After 2 seconds, it will be clicked. Okay, what happened? It gave me some error. Okay, it gave me some error. Let me rerun it. I think I tried to zoom it. That's why it gave me some error, because whenever you change anything in the code, the source code is having some kind of effect over there. Okay, so some things may change in the source code because of which your code is not working fine. See, I had given this email ID over here. Okay, it is done. Now what I need to do, I need to click on this next button. So how this is stored? See, this thing here, this is a span element with JS name as something and class name as something. Again, you can either create your own XPath. If I had to create the XPath of this element, it would be looking something like, okay, let me show you what it is. It is this. So it would be looking something like, we have a text here, double slash, first of all, the element name, right? And the element's name is, let me close this. Yeah, the element's name is span. So after double slash span, and then what you're taking the class or the JS name. Better to take either class or ID. The way we have specific roll number or specific enrollment number in our college, similarly class and IDs are mostly unique. So there can be some other element with the same JS name, but it is quite difficult to have the same element with the same some other element with the same class name. So what did I do? See, I just clicked on the class name twice, double click, and then copy this. Okay, I mean from here till here, and then copy this, and then just go wherever you're writing it. Start with your brackets, then add the red, then paste whatever you have copied from there. Okay, and this will be your XPath, and with single quotes outside, this can be sent to the find element by XPath. Okay, so anyways, coming back to this, instead of this, you can also copy the XPath as I've already showed you. Now, because we have spoken about XPath a lot of times, from next time onwards, I'm not going to explain XPath as much as this. So if you copy, it comes up like this, which is a nested XPath. Why I'm saying nested? Because it is finding some element, then from there going to some other element, and then from there going to some other element, and like that. Okay. Anyways, coming back to the code, see, in the next line, I am finding the element, and this is the same next button. See, identify next, and I'm calling it user net. Then I'm clicking it, and because when we click it, some other page is loaded, so I'm again giving it a time of 2 seconds. Not mandatory to give 2 seconds. You can give 1 second, 0.5 second, 5 second, 10 second, 1 minute, whatever you wish. Even more than that. Okay. So whatever that is, we are going to click it. So let me run the program till here. Meanwhile, if you have any doubts or anything, you can text, you can comment that in the chat. Anyway, so this got clicked. Now the values will be sent, and yeah, the next page has appeared because the next got clicked. Now what I need to do, I need to find this element and click this button. And for that, I have written the next line of codes. This code over here, driver.find element, an input with type password. And if I show you Control Shift I, this password is an input uh, element with type password. See over here. So this is the same XPath, and then I'm sending the password. Then I'm searching for the other button of other type of button, which is my this next button over this page here. I'm searching for this and then clicking it. I'm searching for this and then I'm clicking it. See this thing, password next, I'm searching, and password next dot click. And after this, I'm waiting for 5 seconds because it is now opening my Tinkercad. So it was taking a bit more than 2 seconds to get loaded completely. Now these times are completely up to you, however you want to set them. Just remember, they should work good. Okay. Now, if I just run this, just see what happens here. So see, it logged me in, and then it took me to this place. Okay. Now here, what do I need to do? If I have logged in to Tinkercad, you remember you always get a copy and tinker this wala link. So after logging in, if you directly go to the link, the way I have logged in, right? And this is the copy and tinker this link for the next project, the project which the circuit which we just developed. So if you just go in the same browser and just search for this, now because I'm logged in, they will directly be taking me here. And now by clicking the copy and tinker option, I'll be able to click run it, right? So after I have logged in, see, I am writing, wait, 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 wait. I'm writing driver.get, which is used to open any link through your uh, search engine or the browser. Okay, so I'm giving this link, and this link is the copy and tinker this wala link for the circuit. So you can access the link from here as well. You can take it from here and open in some other Google Colab, you wanna Google window, Google tab, if you wanna work along ahead of it. So you can access the link from here. So I am writing driver dot get, and then I'm just writing time dot sleep. So I'm sleeping, I'm keeping my programs at sleep for 1 minute. Okay, so you can do even that thing from here. I'll give a break to you in next 15 minutes. So just allow me that much of time and just see what is happening over here till that time. Yeah, I came here and now this link appeared, and this window. And now if I click on this copy and tinker button, this will be taking me to the next part, right? Now again, once this thing is done, I need to check how this copy and tinker button is working, and I need to click on it, right? So again, I'll be just, it is a button type element, right, with some given class name, etc., etc. So you can either have the XPath written, or then can use the copy XPath wala option, and then you will be taken to, like you will be getting this element, and once you're getting this element, you will be clicking on it. Okay, and that is what I'm doing in my next line of code. See, this code I've commented here that this code is for tinker this part. Okay, so in the first line, using this driver.find element, I'm directly finding the element and then clicking it at the same place. Now if you find and click at the same place, now this can be done when you need to do only one thing with the element, right? Let's say if you're adding a plus b and you just want to print a plus b value, so there is no need of storing that as c. You can directly print a plus b. But now let's say there is a plus b which you will be using in some other function. Let's say a plus b minus d you're supposed to do. So first of all, you do a plus b and then minus d. So there you need, because it is now two-step thing or multiple step thing, you need to store that in variable kind of thing. So here, because I just had to click this, I did not store it in a variable. I just searched this element. See, it is a button element with the class blah blah blah, and then I clicked it. Okay, then I clicked it. And after this, I waited for 2 seconds, because you will just see whenever that is clicked, the new page will appear. Till the time, let me just close these windows. Now you can ask me, okay, you're opening the windows automatically. Can't we close them? Of course, we can close them, but because I'm doing some after work in the tab in the window as well, that is why I'm not closing them right now. But in a program, you can write something to close the tabs as well, open tabs or open windows as well. So it, consider this as your task for the next day, that you will check out how to close the circuit. The sorry, not the circuit, how to close the window. Okay. Now see, when you clicked on it, it took you to this place. Okay. Now after this, what we are supposed to do? Let's just go to code, then go to serial monitor and this text. Now just start the simulation, and whenever once it has started simulating, send inputs. Okay, detected or not detected kind of inputs. Okay, so what did I do? First of all, I need to click on this code, then I need to click on this serial monitor. Okay, so I'll show you one by one, because now everything is just simple. Find the XPath of the element by right clicking and checking how they are stored. And then once the XPath is found out, just find that element and then just click. But instead, there is one thing new. Instead of using find element by XPath, I'm using find element by ID. That means here in the argument, you do not need to mention what is the XPath. Rather, you need to mention what is the ID of the element. And if I show you here, this code thing, I need to click this button, right? So just go here and inspect here. So this code button, if I just click on this, is an A element with some ID. And what is the ID? If you can see it properly, the ID is code underscore editor underscore ID. So I'm writing find element by ID and I'm mentioning whatever ID was there, and then I'm clicking it. So just like this, there are other functions as well, like find element by class name, find element by name, and things like that. Okay. So this will be clicking the code button. So let me just run it and show you whether whatever I'm saying is actually happening or it is just a story from my end. Okay. So till now everything has happened and now the code button is also clicked here. Okay, so till now things are working fine. Once this code button is clicked, I need to open this serial monitor, right? So I need to click on this serial monitor. So again here also, let's just inspect it. And if I just go to this serial monitor, this is again an A element with an ID serial underscore monitor underscore ID. Okay, so in the next step only just check it out. I am finding an element by ID which is serial monitor ID and then clicking on it. So let me just run it again. Till the time it is running, guys, if you have any doubts or anything which you want to talk about, want to ask me, please put that in the comments, in the chat actually. Yeah, and see this serial monitor is also clicked. Now I'll be simulating it and then I'll be finding this text and sending 1 or 0 depending on what is happening in my OpenCV result. Okay, I'll just close it now. Now this last task is to start simulation here. So for that part, see, I'm again finding that element and then clicking on it. Okay, so after this, yeah, clicking on it, let me run it. Up to the simulate part, it will be doing things. Just allow me 5-7 minutes, then I'll be giving a break to you and then we'll be completing things up after the break. Just see what is happening here. Now you see, if you notice, this time it is running a bit slow for some network issues. Yeah, see the start simulation has been clicked. And now whatever values will be given here, if I give 0 and send it, see, green lit up. The green one here, mass detected, is also printed. And here you will be seeing that some like motor is also revolving. Yeah, but there is only one problem. You cannot close this. Okay, if you close this, your program will stop running. You can do one thing. You can zoom it in order to see the movement of the servo motor. Yeah, like this. Now, if I give 1, see, it rotated in another direction. 2, 0, then again it will be opening up. And when I kept it at 1, which is nothing but the result for no mass, so see what happened at 1. Of course, the motor is rotating here. The LED is lit up and mass not detected method is also statement is also printed. Okay. So my next task is, now I'm not going to do anything here. See, after this, my OpenCV code started, which we studied last in our last class. Okay. So things are here, everything. Let me just remove the comments from everywhere so that you can see where and how I'm actually sending the value, because till now we just opened it somewhere, right? But now I need to send the value somewhere. What happened? Okay. Just let me remove the quotes. I mean the comments. Yeah. After this is the import CV2 part. This, yeah. So these things are something we have already read. So I'm not talking about anything over here. Yeah. Now I've removed everything. Now see what I'm doing. Whenever the result is less or equals to zero point 0.5, then what I'm doing, see, so what has happened once this up to this thing, the start simulation thing, up to this is done, then I'm starting my camera, and then I'm taking input, and depending on that I'm sending some value. That is why after that thing, after this simulation wala thing, clicking on the simulation button, the CV2 part is there. Now in the CV2 part where I'm integrating it, see, whenever the result is less or equals to zero point 0.5, that means the person is wearing the mask, I'm finding the serial input place here, driver.find element by XPath. This serial input place with a long class name and things like that. But yeah, definitely you can have the class XPath using the copy XPath method. Then I'm sending 0. This serial input dot send key is 0. Okay. Now, when this is happening, when the result is less than 0.5, which is the case of with mask. So remember, I have kept 0 for with mask, and I think in the circuit also, if I just go back to this place, in the circuit also, 0 means mask detected, right? So here what happened? Uh, yeah. So here, once this is done, I'm sending 0, and then that is not enough only. Whenever I'm sending 0, see, that's not enough. I need to click on this send button in order to actually send the input. So that is why in the next line, I'm finding another element which is nothing but that end button, and then I'm clicking, sorry, send button, and then I'm clicking it. So these are the things which I'm doing. That means whenever the value is 0, I'm looking for the text, and I'm then sending the value 0, and then clicking on the send button. And I'm doing the similar thing when the result is 1 or greater than 0.5, but only difference is that I'm putting it 1. Like I'm putting the value 1 in the Arduino input. Okay, now let's just do one thing. Let me know if you have any doubts here. Now there is only one thing which I have not. Acha, by the way, after that also these things are there. These are running parallelly, whatever is happening. But this is happening in any other new opened window. Now there are only two things which I have not mentioned. What is the reason of having these two time dot sleep here? Because I've told you whenever you open any new page, then only things happen. Like you need to sleep, right? So here why I'm sleeping, like I'm making my program sleep, I'll just let you know. But before that, let's have a break till 7:50. Okay, let's have a break till 7:50. Good. So if you have any doubts, let me know in the chat. If not, then we'll be meeting in at 7:50. Let me know if you have any doubts. I'll just stay around.
guys, I'm back. Just give me one moment. Yeah, my screen will be visible in a while, so we will be proceeding in a while. Yeah, I think it is. You can see my screen now. Cool. Now, let me do one thing. Let me run the project. Let me first of all close all these things. Let me run the project once, and then I'll be explaining you what is happening and why is that happening and things like that. Okay, just give me a moment. Yeah. So I'll just press Control B. Before, just because I have added the automation part before the CB2 part, so all these things are happening before the CB2 starts reading my camera and things like that. Now there will be a problem. Here I did a different thing. I told you earlier that because of this StreamYard problem, I cannot like the access of my camera is completely with the StreamYard, and it does not releases the access if I'm streaming on the StreamYard, right? So StreamYard, sorry. So that is why to come with a solution of it, what I have done, I have used my mobile's camera over here. That means that my input is being taken from my mobile's camera. How could I do that? Everything I'll be coming to it in a while. First, let us see what is happening. See, if you can see, I'm not wearing the mask, and it has lit up the red LED. Okay, let me try just 1 second. Let me try to go to the motor. Just one moment. Mm, yeah. See, it is actually what is happening. It is taking the video really slowly. Okay. Uh, it's actually of no use right now. Okay. Just allow me one more moment. What is happening when I'm trying to join from my like when I'm trying to have the input from my phone? What is happening? The input is being read really slowly because of some latency, issue. So that is why we are not able to read the value from that. Maybe the network is, first of all, it will be anyway having some latency because of the things like the kind of things where sharing, like camera input is being shared. But anyway, right now I'm going to, like, my screen will be removed. Uh, I'll be joining again from my phone, and I'll try to show you the result. So bear with that. I was trying not to have the same thing here again, but I think this is it. Just give me one moment. Okay, so audible, and I I'm sharing my laptop screen through this. I'm sorry I had to come up with this because the idea is not working properly. So let me quickly change the camera. So see, because of this thing, we were doing this using an app and stuff like that. So let me just remove it and make it 0 again. And now I'm just running it back again. Hmm. One good thing is that this is going to happen this whole time taking. It is taking around 30 seconds. This is taking only at the first part. So, I mean, when we are starting this, so this is the thing here. Let it start the camera. Hmm. Now I think it will be starting the camera. So it is reading me as without mask, and let me just put it in again. And this is the problem of holding the phone and then doing all this thing at once. So when I'm wearing mask, just look at this. The red light is glowing, and let me try to take you to that place where, yeah. So just look at this. The intensities are quite low. So here, see, when I'm removing my mask, I'm without mask. Just notice the motor rotated in the other direction and the red light started glowing. Let me remove the earphones for now. This has actually become my practicing mask. So whenever people at my home are seeing that I'm holding a mask in my hand when on the bed and stuff, they're understanding that I'm running my project and stuff. So this is me without mask. The red LED is on. The motor has rotated, so is not going to rotate again. And me when I'm when I'm wearing the mask again. So see, the moment I wore the mask, the green LED started glowing and it went in this direction. Now again, I'm going to remove the mask. So please look at the. Oh, all time I'm not actually showing you the motor and things, right? I'm so sorry. I'm extremely sorry for that. Yeah, so I'm wearing the mask and I don't think you can see the. Acha, let me just show you at this thing only, and I'll let you know when I'm wearing and when I'm not wearing the mask. So see, right now I'm wearing the mask and the green LED is on and the motor is at some place. Right now I'll just remove my mask. So I removed my mask just right now, and see the red LED started glowing and there was a slight movement of the motor, and then I wore the mask again, and then there again the green LED is glowing. Okay, let me try to show you with this. If you can zoom and see what is happening. Uh, so here I am with this, yeah, with mask, and let me let me zoom in the green LED part once. So it just went over. Okay. Okay. It actually messed up with this. But I hope you've understood what is happening and what is not happening. Me zooming in messed up things actually here, because I told you the moment I will be changing things up, there will be some things reflected in the source code, and because of that, now it is not going to read the value from here. Anyways, I mean, it is not able to find the send button, so it is just giving the value and the send button is not there. Let me see if it sees the send button again. Does it start working well? Let me just have a quick view of it. So here you can see there is a whole sequence of zeros, because when I zoomed in, so Yeah, when I zoomed in, so the send button is no longer there visible on the page. So I don't think it is going to work anymore. So I'll just close it once. And I think you have seen what my result was. If not, then let me know. I'll try to do the similar thing joining from the phone. Because when I'm reading the input from my phone and trying to do the project, it is lagging a lot. But yeah, I would, let me just check. Yeah. But I would definitely tell you one thing that what is the reason of this time dot sleep? You must have understood because of this time dot sleep here. Because of this time dot sleep only, what is happening? When like the if you notice the camera was lagging a bit, not lagging, sorry, the camera was having a bit of delay, right? It was not reading the frame smoothly because I had put this time dot sleep over here. That means every time whenever this while true is running, this while true, any while loop will be running with the speed of my CPU. Okay, now, whenever that is happening, in every while loop, I'm putting a pause of 0.5 seconds. That means every time my program is taking point, it is stopping for 0.5 seconds every time it is reading an image. Okay, and that is why the it was taking so long for the image to be read, and that is why it was so laggy. So you would be asking me why I put it over here, right? So I'll just comment them and I'll show you what was the need of doing that. Yes. So I'll just run it again. Please bear with me for next 2 minutes. Mm, so it is just logging in and stuff. As I told you, it will be taking around 30 seconds or so. So when I was not in the meeting, I had tried the camera captioning from my mobile phone. It was not working this slow. It was slow definitely because of the latency and stuff, but it was not this slow. And right now it was slow in some different level only. So here is the thing. This thing initially doing nothing. Now it started reading the value from the camera, and right now I'm not wearing any mask. If you see in the small window over here, a green means I'm not wearing a mask. Okay, now I'll wear the mask and I'll show you what is happening. So I just wore the mask. If you see the green over here, and here zero started being sent. The green LED is lit up and the motor has already rotated. If you saw, actually this is not having any problem here. That means the time dot sleep are not needed. Let's just have this thing here. Okay, the time dot sleep are not needed because without of them it is also running fine. So you can see. Let me just have one last thing here. Yeah, so I just stopped the camera so the model will stop running. So yeah, so this was the thing. Let me get back on my laptop and join from there till the time if you have any doubts or anything. So what was the problem? I'll let you know why I had put the time dot sleep earlier and why I removed it right now. Earlier what was happening, whenever I was giving the input, it was like the input was being sent, but it was not being read by the serial dot begin. Okay, so what I had to do over there, I understood that that is because my processor is working a bit fast, and this see, because of the like speed of the serial monitor, the speed with which it reads any input, it is not being compatible with the speed of my processor, and that is why I'm getting the error. not the error, but the values are not being read properly. That is why I put a 0.5 seconds sleep over there, so that it gets some time to take the value. Like actually I just made all the process slow so that it matches with the speed of the serial monitor. But right now this was a miracle actually that has started working in this like without the time dot sleep only. So yeah, this is the thing. Just allow me a moment. Let me share the screen. Okay, so I'll be getting my screen back here soon. So this is about our first project of IoT with ML. So this is what it is doing. I know I could not show you the result properly, but I will do one thing. I'll screen record my screen and then I'll share the recording of the output with you. Meanwhile, you also run it on your system so that you can also see what happened actually. And yeah, so you will be able to understand what the problems can be. It might happen that in your laptop again it is not working without the time dot sleep. So you now know that if that is happening, it is taking the input but not doing anything. Just understand there is some problem of the speed. There is no speed compatibility, and that is causing the problem. So again, the other thing is that we are also automating, right? We are going like the results are sent over here through automation, so that might also cause some lag and things. So this was the reason of the stuff. So let me know if we have any doubts over here. If we do not have any doubts in this project, so I'll be moving to our next task. Let me know if we have any doubts over here. Are we clear with everything? Yeah, definitely you can clear the time, Naveen. I'll just briefly tell you. Let's say you write time underscore no mask. Okay. So how to do this? Let's say you have kept a flag, right? Let's say a flag is there. Flags are used for noting something. So flag is 0 initially, and what you're doing whenever the person is wearing the mask, you're keeping the flag. Let's say you're keeping it 1. When you kept it 1, you started recording the time dot sleep. Okay, sorry, time dot sleep. Nahi. You started recording the time. Let's say you write start t equals to time dot now. Okay, now after this you will keep on checking the uh, previous value of this, right? If that okay, if it was flag equals to 1, then if flag equal 1, sorry, if flag not equal 1, money, it can happen that the person is removing or whatever. Then what you want to do, you will do end time equals again time dot now, and the span of time can be calculated. It will be giving you the result in seconds by doing this end time minus start t, something like this can be there. So you will be keeping a value, and whenever the value is changed, you will start recording the time, and you will keep on checking whether is the value of the flag changed. If it checks any, like if it gets anything changed, then you record the time again and find what was the time. So this will be done for the person when the person like for how long the person is wearing the mask. And if you want to see for how long the person is not wearing the mask, maybe instead of keeping the flag as 1 from 0, you can keep it as -1 and check whenever it is not -1, then you will be doing the same stuff. In both the cases you're using a flag which is initially 0, and whether the person is wearing mask or not wearing mask, you're changing the flag again. And this is happening only whenever the term value is changed, you're calculating the time. So this can be a way of calculating the time for how long the person is not wearing mask or wearing mask both. Okay, do we have any other doubt here? Do we have any doubt here? No. Okay, fine. So I'll move ahead to our next thing, which is not a project actually, but it is a case study. Now, why I added this? Because see, what happens, I love projects. Whenever, even when I teach, if you're aware of this, we run some mentorship programs, right? So whenever I teach people something, whenever I mentor them on something, I try to keep things full of projects work, because the more you do the project, the more you learn about the thing. Okay, that is why here also I tried to add projects of different varieties, where I'm using this sensor, there I'm using that sensor, and things like that. Now, what happened over here, why I'm doing a case study, because when we are using online simulation, and I think by now we all are well aware of why we are using online simulator, why we are not using physical components. So when we use online simulator, there are still something which I want to tell you, but I'm not able to. Why? Because the elements are not present in the simulator, or it is not even possible for the simulator to run things up like that. Okay, so that is why I mentioned this case study, so that I can make you aware of the things which you might need to know about in order to move ahead in IoT with machine learning. So this case study is for that. Okay. Here we are trying to see a like what can happen and how we can design a smart irrigation system. Now, what is the need of this smart irrigation system? So irrigation, what irrigation is, what it is not, we are all aware of, right? Now let's say what happened. You actually went, now I don't know what are the profession, what you guys are professionally, but because if you know IoT with machine learning, you can make stuff, right? So now you went to your village and you saw that people over there are like farmers over there are very tense, because they need to 24 not 20, when not for 24/7, then they need to daily take care of the irrigation, when I should open the valve of the water supply, when I should close the valve of the water supply. So what happens, plants need water, right? But the plants will die if there is an excess of water, or there is a shortage of water. Now what happens, these irrigation needs to be planned, right? That okay, today is this much of heat, plants need more water, because they are doing what is the process, transpiration, no, evaporation, right? They are yeah, they are doing evaporation, so because of that water supply needs to be more. So now I need to start the water well for this much of time. So what happens, in order to do proper irrigation, so that you're getting full, not you, the farmers are getting most of the benefit, you need to understand what is the need of the water, like when is the need of more water, when is the need of less water, and things like that. Secondly, first thing you need to understand, depending on various features, which are temperature can be the one feature, rain can be one feature, wind can be one feature, things like that. And farmers actually make decisions depending on these things. Okay. Now, secondly, the decision of the water supply. Okay. Now, it might happen that you do not have proper like supply of water, and you struggle, not you again, the farmers do not have proper supply of water, and they struggle a lot to, complete the whole irrigation task. So it would be really, now it might not be that much beneficial for us to save 300 liters of water. Let's say if we forget to close the tap, and the whole water of the tank has went out of it, maybe we will be pissed off for a while, and then till the time we get the water back. But this is not the case with farmers, right? Water quantity is very important for them. So they also need to plan things according to this, that okay, they have this much of water, what can be an optimum use of it. So of course they have idea of everything. It's not like we are going to tell them something in this project. At least we are going to tell them something which they do not know about. But what happens? They need to monitor everything. They need to go to the field every day. They need to check what is the situation, and they need to operate things up. And this results in great hard work for them. Let's say you went to your village, the same thing is happening over there, you saw this and you didn't like this thing, right? And you wanted somehow to help them. Now how can you help them? By making a smart irrigation system which will be doing everything whatever they were doing, but they are not required to be in the field. Maybe if they are having smart phones, which most of the people, no, I cannot say this, most of the people do not have it, but there, let's say, let's just forget the smartphone wala idea. Right now let's just stick to this, the smart irrigation system over here. Okay, so here what is happening? You're going to see, you're going to consider everything, whatever happens, whatever the decision of this smart irrigation system depends, and then you're going to make something which is nothing but an internet of things, as a whole system of IoT, which will be taking care of the irrigation on its own, depending on all the factors which affects it. Okay, so if you remember to design things like this, that okay, right now I'm okay, let it be. First of all, let's talk about this. To design this kind of a system, there were some components, right? There was some sensor, there were some computing unit, there were some actuators, and there was a part where the computing unit can send the data to the cloud. And the other part was also there where the data is being sent to UI. I don't think farmers have that kind of phone which can, send things to UI. They may receive some messages, but I don't know whether this is possible or not. That is why I'm skipping the UI wala part completely and will be revolving around the other core stuffs. Okay, so let's start by looking at the sensors which we can use here. Right, in a smart irrigation system, what kind of sensors can be used? Okay, we are just going to name few of them. We are going to learn about few of them. Not mandatory that nothing else can be used there, of course. It is just about how wide you can think, how deep, how wide, how long you can think, and you can decide things on your own. Okay. Naveen, I don't remember what was my question, which you said no, ma'am. If my question was any doubts and you said no, then it is fine. But if my question was, did you understand, and you said no, so please let me know. I'll try to go over there. I missed your comment actually. Anyway, so I was saying this, that we're going to use like we are going to talk about some sensors which we are not definitely limited to them. The first one is climate based sensor. Okay, the very first one of the whole list is climate based sensors or climate based controllers, and they look something like this. Of course, it is not, the look is not limited to this, they can look anything, like anything. So one, this thing is actually known also as ET controllers. ET, capital E, capital T, E for England, T for Tokyo, actually E for evaporation and T for transpiration. So they are called evaporation transpiration controllers. They use the local weather data so that they can schedule the irrigation, the control of how long it will, like how long the water valve should be opened, or at what time the water valve needs to be open and things like that. Okay, so this evaporation process is the process where water is actually evaporated from the soil, right? Now the plants need some water, and of course the water which is evaporated by the soil can be used, like they can get the water from the atmosphere and use them for their processes. Okay, or the evaporation, also happens like when plants also start evaporating. Okay, so over there what happens, these controllers can actually track the like what can be the rate of evaporation and transpiration, and according to that they can schedule the whole irrigation process. As I told you, this is a weather based adjustment of irrigation. What happens over here, just look at the third point. They can track sunlight, temperature, wind, humidity, kind of natural things, which definitely affects the evaporation transpiration process, right? Of course, if you see in summer, the soil will be evaporating more, and the plants also will be evaporating more than the winters. So depending on these factors, the climate based controller can sense these factors, and depending on them they can it can schedule the things like opening and closing the valve and everything. Now secondly, they can also use historical data, right? Historical data money, let's say the previous month's data, that okay, if the sunlight was this, temperature was this, wind was this, humidity was this, then the valve was open for this much of time, or the valve was open after 2 days whatsoever, and they can use the same data now. When they're tracking the new sunlight, temperature, wind, humidity data, they can compare. Actually, it will be used in generating a machine learning model, right, which is passing this controller what can be the adjustment of the irrigation. So they can send the new value to the machine learning model, and it can give it a time for which the water valve should be on, and the span of time also for which the water valve should be on, and then it can open the valve of water supply or close the valve of water supply according to that, right? So this is one of the controller. It is a climate based controller because it just adjusts for how long the irrigation should happen depending on the local weather information. So you need to hang this kind of thing near your field, and it will be sensing everything, and it will be accordingly that it needs to be connected to the valve definitely, and it will be according to all these things it will be uh, adjusting for how long or at what time the valve should be on or off. Okay, I mean it should be open or shut actually. So apart from this, we have another sensor, which is the soil moisture sensor control, and it is one of the mostly used it is one of the mostly used sensors or controllers in smart irrigation system. Okay, so the next one is soil moisture sensor controller. As the name is suggesting you, it senses how much of moisture is still locked in the soil. So what happens over here, you do not just check it every time you install the machine. Okay, this part of the machine, this part goes underneath your field. Okay, you need to dig inside and put it in the soil. Okay, and then this is the controlling part which will keep on checking what is the soil's volumetric water content. What is the soil's volumetric water content? Soil's volumetric water content is nothing but it is a portion of the total volume of soil occupied by water, so that it actually gives you a sense of how much water is still there in the soil. Now if the water is this much that the plant can live for today, okay, the plant will not have any issues or anything like that. So it will not be opening the water supplies valve, and depending on that it can control what is the water being supplied to the uh, field, right? So it detects moisture available in the soil, uh, the soil moisture sensor, which was this part. So you actually need to select a part of the field which is called the representative area of the field, and then you dig inside and put the sensor on. The other part stays over over the ground. Okay, then depending on the reading it sends to the controller. It can control the opening and closing of valves. Okay, now after that the next can be a rain sensor based controllers. Now rain sensors can be used at a lot of places, but here in smart irrigation how we are using them, we are checking whether it is raining or not, and if it is raining, like what is the intensity of the rain. Okay, if I'm not wrong, this checks the intensity in inches maybe, no, in centimeters maybe. Okay, so what happens, it actually detects is it raining or not, and if it is raining, is it raining more or not. Because if it is already raining, so what should happen, the water should be stopped, right? The water wall should be stopped because the plants are getting water supplying from the rain itself, right? And when it will also sense when the rain stopped. So when the rain is stopped again, it can again resume the water sending process, right? It can open the water valve again. So the next sensor, which we just read, is rain sensor. Now you can think of it that they can combinedly work, no? The soil moisture and the rain sensor. So it is not mandatory that whenever the rain dries out, you will have to open the water wall, right? Let's say the rain is out now, and then your soil moisture is sending some signals, and depending on that, we will decide, do we need to open the water valve or not? Okay. Now, next type of sensor can be used as is wind sensor based controllers. So what happens? How wind affects irrigation? You will say, okay, anything water related to water is going to affect it, but how is wind going to affect the uh, irrigation? What happens when there is a high speed wind flowing? Then the water distribution is not uniform. Okay, the thing that you can do in low wind or no wind, you cannot do the same thing in high wind. Okay, so here what can happen if it is very high speed of wind is flowing, it may disturb the spread of water during the water valves supply of water. So at that time you can sense this thing, and definitely I'm not saying when I'm saying high speed it means really high. Okay, so whenever there is this high wind present, then your water valve will be turned off, because anyway it is not going to be any efficient for your field, right? So this can be done, and whenever the wind speed is again under a given threshold, then again your water valve will be turned on. Things like that can happen, and using this you can have an optimum use of water. So it is not actually going to check how much water is taken by the plants and stuff like that, but it is definitely going to control you from wasting your water. Even any of the things like this one, the rain sensor, it also stopped you from wasting water, right? The soil moisture sensor. So all these things are going to be very helpful for the farmers if we can help them and we can integrate these things. And trust me, it might seem very difficult, but these products, especially these products, are actually like, you do not need to. The photos which are given over here, these are just some sensors which directly are used there. So these products are completely ready. But again, if you want, you can definitely try making the whole circuit, making the whole controller on yourself, right? I'm not talking about the microcontroller. Don't think that. I'm just talking about the rain, soil moisture based controller. Okay. Anyway, let me just show you one thing. We also have the way we have other sensors. We also have this soil moisture sensor. Okay, this kind of thing. Okay, and let me just show you. If we have it in Arduino, oh sorry, if we have it in Tinkercad, so do we have it over here? Yeah, we do have it in Tinkercad. Now I don't know whether it is still available. Let us just search for it. Soil. Okay, let me see the number. The number was X. Acha, this is not Tinkercad. But this looks like, okay, this is some hackster.io. So you may check some other place as well, where you can see if some other elements are present, and you can connect things and you can see how can you design stuff. Okay, once the design is actually ready, you can work on the physical ground itself. Now you will be saying, okay, she's saying that working on the physical ground and working on some simulator is the same. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, if you have worked on the simulator, you are well aware of what can happen and what cannot happen. So after that, you will just have to amplify the what to say, the scale, right? Anyway, so let's move ahead. The next one is the water level indicator. So I actually told you about this thing maybe 2 days ago, that I did this as a project in my second year or first year. I think first year's the second semester. So if there is, let's say, there can be water pumps, right, which fills up some kind of container using which the people are, irrigating or things like that. So the water level indicator will help you over there. If the height of the water body, wherever the water is stored, see, it is natural water, then it is perfectly fine. But if it is stored somewhere, then what happens if it is vacant, or water is less than what it should be? Let's say right now at 12 o'clock you actually check it, so it will be definitely stored in a big location, and at somewhere maybe it's not possible for you to go and check it. So you may have this water level indicator which will signal them every time the water goes beyond the limit as it should be at. Okay, so this water level indicator actually indicates, like, it checks the water level, so you can install it at the wall of the container. Water level indicator. So it is actually even used, these kind of, yeah, this kind of things are actually used as well. That is why you can see the products like this. So yeah, so there can be container, this indicator at, sorry, this sensor at different location, and depending on how low is your water in your system, depending on that you can alarm something, or you can send a message or things like that. Okay, so this again, this is a very what to say, this I did this project as a part of my electronics study. Anyway, so moving ahead, these were some of the sensors which we can use in our smart irrigation system. Now, as I told you, the things are not related, it's not limited to what I have told you. You can go even beyond this. Okay, so after this, let's just go ahead and see. Let's just look at some other things. The communication protocol. Now you are very well aware of this, that if the sensor is sensing data, so of course either it will be used in some controlling part, and second part will be it will have to transfer it to somewhere, right? There may be a controller, a controlling room, or there may be some cloud performance as well happening, depending on the data. So your sensors actually need to send the data to somewhere, right? And this sensor sending the data to some other devices, or any device sending the data to some other devices, these are called this is called communication. So we will be looking at some of the communication protocols which are vastly used in IoT. Now again, I've added few of them, not mandatory. We are just limited to them. There are much more things apart from them, but these are the mostly used ones. Okay. The first one is Zigbee. By the way, using these protocols, the communication can be made across the, like, in the field there are 5 6 sensors and controllers. They can communicate together to each other, and there are some other protocols as well which can help you in sending the data to some other place. Okay, now these all things depend on what protocol you are using. Every protocol is having some of its own range of working. So depending on that what protocol you should use, it depends on what communication, what kind of communication you're trying to make. Okay, so let's move on to Zigbee, which is our first one, and this is what a Zigbee board would look like. Now again, the way we were studying about Arduino, and we use Arduino Uno. Arduino is a whole family, and Arduino Uno is just about similar to that. Zigbee is the technology, and XB Pro is a box of it. Sorry, is a board of it, and XB Pro is also like pronounced as Zigbee. So this is not a Zigbee. Zigbee is a technology, okay? And this board is something which access Zigbee to send the data. So let's look at some properties of Zigbee. First of all, the very first thing, it works on LAN, local area network, okay? It follows mesh technology. What is meant by a mesh technology? Star and mesh topologies, two topologies are there. So star topology is something where this kind of communication happens. Okay, that means data is traveling from one node to other nodes like this.
Okay, and mesh topology is something like this, where data where data from any node can travel to any other node. Okay, from here to here, here. Okay, there is one line, so there is no need of having any extra line. Here, here. From here, here, here. From here, here. So overall, every node is connected to every other node. So this mesh topology can also be like it is the thing on which the Zigbee works. So the second thing is that it can handle a large increase in users, and also it can handle extra workload, which is our this point, the third one, which is high scalability. Okay, so high scalability means that it can handle things in large range. It can handle large nodes. You know, if I call every machine which will be sending some single node, it can handle large node and etc. Now their power consumption is really low, so that means that they are easily, like, I need to give the power source, right? So they are going to be really beneficial to me. They send data in high bandwidth. That means data uh, sending is going to be a faster process here. The operating frequency of Zigbee I have not mentioned here, but it will be mentioned in your handout. By the way, you guys did not get your today's handout because of some reason. You will be getting it tomorrow morning or by tomorrow evening. Okay, so the operating frequency at which Zigbee, that is a wrong spelling. Let me write. Zigbee operates. Now, depending on what continent it is being operated, the operating frequency differs. Okay, okay. So it operates as at various uh, frequencies, which are 2.8, 2.4 gigahertz, 900 megahertz, and 868 megahertz. Okay, and the next thing is that they are having strong security, strong durability. So these things make them able to be a good communication protocol. But the problem is they are only going to send the data, they are only be able to send the data up to 900 feet. Okay, so maybe like it might happen that you are only able to communicate to different devices present in the field only. Okay, if you want to send the information to any control room or any cloud or anything, you cannot do that. So one of the problem of Zigbee is that it is one of the problem is it is having a really limited range. So sending data through Zigbee to, you know, things which are really far away is not something possible. But apart from that, Zigbee is used mostly in home automation. Okay, because there what happens, things are, you know, sent to a device which is there at the home only. So in the radius of 900 feet, Zigbee can perform very well. So Zigbee is one of the protocol which is used in home automation very much. Other problem is it is a bit difficult to set up. Okay, apart from them, if you have such a scenario where you need to send data across 900 feet of distance, use Zigbee. Okay, now the second one being Bluetooth, and Bluetooth BLE would be studying about things like BLE at most of the places. BLE IoT. So BLE is nothing but Bluetooth low energy. Okay, so it is going to use the technology of Bluetooth the way our earphones can, like there is a data transfer using Bluetooth to our earphones. I can access my Android TV is connected to the phone using Bluetooth. There is a game controller which can be connected through Bluetooth. So the way Bluetooth helps us in data sharing over here, Bluetooth can help any other device in data sharing over there as well. But of course, you know that you need to be really close to, like, two devices. If they are sharing data through Bluetooth, they need to be close to each other, so it generates a PAN, personal area network. Okay, and you must be getting from it that the area, the range is very low because of this. Now, the operating frequency at which Bluetooth works is again 2.4 gigahertz. But the one thing is, if there is something which can handle this kind of problem of low range, Bluetooth will be a good option over there because the power consumption is really low, ultra low. Even a single cell battery can run it for 2 years. Okay, again, this was not a Bluetooth. Okay, Bluetooth is a technology. This was a board which supports BLE. Okay, so BLE means Bluetooth low energy. This is called Bluetooth low energy because it takes really low power consumption. So yeah, because of this Bluetooth low energy. But yeah, because now things are expanding a lot. Of course, if let's say the communication between the mobile television's remote and television is happening because of Bluetooth. But let's say if I'm trying to make a smart AC which I can control anywhere from here. Okay, and then if I think there was a smart AC like this, and Amitabh Bachchan was the person who was doing the ads for it. I don't remember whether it was LG or something, but I guess it was LG. So he was saying that you can access your AC from anywhere. The ad was showing that the person was in a hurry to go to the office. The person went to the office. There is no one at the home. Then he remembers, oh, I forgot to turn the AC off, and the person pulled out his phone and then he switched the AC off from there. So that thing cannot be done using protocol. Over there, what is the information being sent? An instruction to switch off the AC. So that is something we cannot do using. Now, second is LoRa. LoRa is actually again another technology which is the full form of, I mean, the abbreviation is for low range. Okay, low range. Now, this can be used as a WAN, wide area network. Okay, a WAN. The range of LoRa is much more than any other thing which we just read. Okay, it can cover a distance, as you can see in the last point, it can cover a distance of around 3,000 to 8,000 meters. Okay, so let's say if your data is collected in your field and then you want to send it to a control room which is maybe 1 kilometers away from your field, you can use LoRa over there. But see, it is not generally used for these kind of small things. So of course, anything in the range of distance of 3 kilometers to 8 kilometers are 3,000 meters to 8,000 meters can use LoRa for data transmission. Okay, the operating frequency of LoRa at different continents are 865 megahertz, 915 megahertz, 433 megahertz. So they are in Europe, North America, and in Asia. So apart from that, again, LoRa also uses mesh topology to communicate. That means any in LoRa, whatever components are there, they can communicate to any other component. Okay, they do not need to send the data to one place and that place will be sending the data to the components. So they can communicate to each other like that. Okay, so other most important one would be some Wi-Fi microcontrollers which are going to help you in some data transmission using Wi-Fi, and this is something which is going to be used a lot and which is already used a lot. Okay, so data transmission through Wi-Fi, this is the most secure and protected data transmission. Okay, whatever data is transferred, they are encoded. Okay, and mostly I guess TTL encoding is used over there, and after that, like that of course depends on different boards which we are using, but mostly TTL is used, and after that, but whatever source is getting it, the source need to decode the data. Okay, and of course we are well aware of it how faster Wi-Fi works. So any device which is sending the data through Wi-Fi are going to be very fast. Okay, now there are some chips, some microcontrollers, some things like ESP8622, which help any computing system to send data across Wi-Fi, to send data to the cloud and things like that. They are present there. Okay, but this is my bad luck that online simulators do not have that kind of like Tinkercad does not have that ESP8266 module. That is why I couldn't show you anything related to that. But as much things as possible, I am trying to cover right now. Okay. Now you would be saying, what is this MQTT and HTTP, which is there on your screen? So MQTT and HTTP, these are cloud communication protocol. As I just told you, that this might be the case that your devices are trying to send the data to the cloud, right? So in that also they need to communicate to the cloud, and the communication protocol, any protocol is something like which tells you what rules and regulations are followed there, right? So MQTT and HTTP are two data message sending protocol, communication protocol, cloud communication protocol rather. Okay, so HTTP and MQTT, they two work on different communication models. HTTP works on request and response model, whereas MQTT works on publisher and subscriber model. Now, HTTP's full form is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Okay, and if my memory is not faulty, then this was a question in Kaun Banega Crorepati. So anything can be important. So HTTP is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. MQTT is Message Queue Telemetry Transport. Okay, Message Queue, Q mane QUEUE, Telemetry Transport Protocol. Anyways, so they two are working on two different communication model. They, like the protocol and the way messages will be sent and received are completely different. So the first one, request and response model, works something like this. There will be a one server, only one server, and a lot of various clients can be there which are communicating to the server. Okay, there can be a lot of clients which are communicating to the server. Now, as the name is telling you, the client requests some information and the server responses with some information. So this client is holding this, sorry, the server is holding every data in the database. Okay. Now, the client may request for some information. Once the request is sent to the server first of all processes the request. Once the request is processed, then the process request, that means how to handle the database and everything, that kind of some signal is sent to the database. Now the information which is requested by the client is fetched from the database, and a response is created, and then this response is sent to the client. Very simple. It is also called client server based model. So you can say that HTTP is something which is working on client server based model. So yeah, so here this is the stuff, this is how things behave. Every appliance which either wants to get data or it wants to receive data will be a client over here. So the soil moisture sensor can be a client. So things like that will be happening over here. And the next one, which is public subscribe model, which is okay, some people will also call it publisher subscriber model. So this is something on which the working of the data sending of MQTT depend. Okay. Now this is what happens over there. So there are a lot of things. Don't get confused because of them. Let's just look at all of them one by one. So the most important thing is there are two things. One is publisher and the other one is the subscriber. Publisher will be any application that publishes a message. Okay, so here apart from publisher and subscriber, there will be a broker. You can think of it as the server over here. Okay, so there will be a broker. Now any publisher will be any application which is going to publish the message to a topic. Okay, what is topic? I'm coming to it. So it publishes a message to a topic, and the message is going to be stored in the broker. Okay. Now subscribers will be any other application which is subscribed to a topic. Now let me first tell you what a topic is. A topic is nothing but a form of addressing that allows MQTT clients to share information. It is nothing but a form of addressing. Okay. So let's say there is, and these topics are created by us only. Okay. So there is this room, this home. In the home, there are room 1, room 2,
room 3, room 4. Okay, and this is your home, this is your room 2, and there is this light over there. And anything, any information about the light is like needs to be what to call it, needs to be conveyed, right? So the topic for the bulb will be, can be home, sorry, what happened, home slash room 2 slash bulb. Okay, now let's say there was a hall in the home, and in the hall there is a fan. So the topic of this device can be home, hall, fan. Okay, so topic is nothing but it is a form of addressing that allows any MQTT client to share your information. The client can be any fan, any bulb, any door, any shower, it can be anything. Okay, so coming back to this, publishers are those applications who send the, who actually send the message to a topic, about a topic to the broker, and subscribers are those applications who registers themselves with the desired topic on it. Okay, let's say this client one, let's say there is this AC client one. Okay, and the AC actually doesn't care whether the light is on or not. Okay, it only cares in the room 2, it only, AC is also in the room 2, it only cares whether the fan is on or not, or the door is closed or not. Okay, so there are two things only. So it will, the client one is AC, so it will subscribe to the fan and the door. Okay, and by subscribing, it is actually asking the broker that, okay, see, whenever there is a data sent to you through these two things, just send it to me. Okay, so what happens over here? Acha, by the way, the other thing is message. Message is nothing but, here serialized messages are sent to Entropic by the publisher, and these publishers has no knowledge of who the subscriber are. So the fan is sending some information to the broker, but fan does not know whether the AC is going to access the information or any other device. So here the message is nothing but the information about the state. It may be some on off state, it may be the speed of the fan, it can be anything. Whatever information it wants to convey, this will be happening. So basically I can say public subscribe model is a model where there are some publishers and some subscribers. The subscribers send the message about their state, or about the way they are handled, or about the some analog value to the broker. Then whatever publisher actually published this information, then whatever subscribers are there who have subscribed to these publisher applications, they will be getting the information about them. So here you can say here you can see the publisher is publishing information about topic 1, topic 2, and topic 3 to the broker. In the broker, the information are stored with topic 1, topic 2, topic 3. Like this is mentioned that, okay, this information is about the topic 1, this information is about topic 2, and like that. The clients now, first of all, subscribe to different topics. Any client can subscribe to more than one topic as well. Okay, but they need to be subscribed. The way client 2 is not subscribed to TP1, so they are not going to be, it is not going to be informed of what is happening in TP1. So the client applications are actually subscribed to various topics. The broker knows that which client is subscribed to which topic, and whenever any information about that topic comes in the broker by the publisher, the broker sends the information to the client. Okay, so this is what happens in your public subscribe model. Here you can also think of it as a machine to machine protocol, the MQTT protocol, which uses this publish subscribe model. Okay, now, there are some important things which I really want to inform you guys about, related to MQTT only, nothing except that. So, what happens over here? The publisher and the subscriber
or I can say the clients and the server. So here the broker is considered as the server, and any other device, be it the client or be it the be it the subscriber or be it the publisher, all of them communicate to each other using some MQTT control packets. Okay, some MQTT control packets, and here we have different what to say, commands for any kind of data transfer. So I'll just name few of them. There are some other commands as well, but these are the most important one, and we should know about them if we are learning publish subscribe model. The first one of them is connect. So connect, these are the commands which are used by any device to make any communication with the server or the broker, or in very simple language, in any programmer's language, irrespective of the programmers of IoT or of machine learning or any other thing. These are some functions. Okay, some functions defined under MQTT. Okay, what connect does? Generally, of course, any client who is a publisher will be sending this particular control packet to your server. Okay, whenever the first packet of data is being sent from the client to the server, so that there is a connection established between the client and the server. Now over that connection, whatever data receiving or data sending is done, that is done after that. So the very first command control packet which any client will send to the server is going to be connect. Now there is another one as well. Is this is a connection acknowledge which is sent by the server to the client. Whoever is sending the connection, like let's say this is the first time you and me are not communicating, you don't know me, so you sent me a message, hi, I'm your new student, maybe because I'm a mentor, so I'm your new student, and then I reply you back that, oh hi, then we start communication, right? So it is like, it is sending first connect control packet, and the server will be sending the connect packet, which is nothing but connection acknowledge packet. Okay, that means it will make sure that there is a communication connection between the two. Okay, so next one, as you have some connect packet, you also got the disconnect packet. So this also is is sent from the client to the server as the final packet. So let's say if the client is no longer going to be in the system, so it just sends a disconnect control packet, and then it just like that connection which was built in initially, that is broken now. Okay, apart from this, you have got two very important things. First, publish, and second, subscribe. So what is subscribe? As I told you, the AC wants to have the information about the fan and the door. So AC will now be a subscriber. Now it is not mandatory that who is subscriber cannot be a publisher. No, any client can be both subscriber and publisher. Okay. Now this AC wants to be a subscriber to your fan and your door. So in that case, it will send this subscribe control packet to your server, that I want to be subscribed to this or that. So this subscribe connect packet is nothing but it is used to create one or more topic subscriptions. That okay, I want to have the subscription of this and this. That means I want to know about the state of these appliances or these devices. And publish is what? The publish is either, like, publish means someone is sending the information. Now this publish control packet can either be sent by the client to the server when the client is publishing its data, or the publish can be sent from the server to a client which has submitted a kind of which has subscribed to a kind of topic. So whenever a new topic information is there, the subscribe will be the server will be publishing the data to the client. So basically what happened, connect, these are our control packets. In our language, the way we have in programming, they can be called sorry for that. They can be called as some functions. So connect money, this will be sent to the server whenever a new client is coming and it wants to make a connection with the server. Connect will be some acknowledgement sent from the server to the client. Then disconnect will be a control packet sent to the server whenever the device is making a final communication with the server. Publish, subscribe, any client can do can use publish and subscribe. Publish is used whenever some appliance or some client or the server wants to convey some message. So to convey the message, it is going to use this publish, and to subscribe to, it is going to use subscribe. Let me tell you one thing: the broker which you saw in the drawing, or I can say the server, it cannot subscribe to anything. Okay. Anyway, moving ahead, we spoke about the control packets, and now these are not enough, but there are a lot of different things over there. So when I say that the client sends some control packet to the server and things like that, just think that this is happening. This is a server or the broker. This is client one. Okay, it wants to make a connection. So it will send a control packet with the connect request. Okay, let's say there is another client too, which wants to send some data, publish some data. So, that command, that data will be sent as a form of a control packet, and the control packet which is holding this kind of thing is called publish. Simple as that. Okay, and of course, internally, the way you have this publish over here. So inside the publish, there will be the information the machine is going to send and everything. We will be seeing that thing as well. Okay, we will be seeing that thing as well. So these are basically the common control packets which are used by the machine, by the clients to send data to broker, or by the broker to send the data to client as well. So let me know, do we have any doubts still here, guys? Do we have any doubts still here? Okay, so let's then move to the next part. So whatever happens whenever the client's connection to the broker is made, this connection is always here. There needs to be a specified QoS. Okay, there needs to be a specified QoS. Sorry, QoS. What is this QoS? This QoS is the quality of service. Quality of service. That okay, whatever communication I'm going to make, what is going to be the quality of that communication? Whatever client is sending different qualification, what is going to be the communication, what is going to be the quality of the communication? Okay, so there are three QoS: the QoS1, sorry, QoS0, QoS1, and QoS2. This means QoS0 means at most once. At most once. So what happens over here? Whenever this, let's say there is this client one, it has sent a connection request to the server, and there it is mentioned QoS equals to 0. What happens whenever the server is sending some data to the client? The message is sent exactly once. No, sorry, the message is sent at most once. Okay, so there are no resending of message happens. So here, even if the client did not access the data, or maybe let's say your phone is a client, or your phone is switched off, you did not get the data, you did not get the notification, it doesn't care. Okay, so if you know that Truecaller has got a pop up the missed call reminder. Okay, so there what happens until you just recognize that okay there was a missed call, so till that time it will keep on sending the notification in every 30 minutes or 1 hour, things like that. Okay, but if there is a message from WhatsApp, so it is not going to remind you, it just send you a one notification, and it is not going to remind you again and again that okay see there was a message like that. So of course these things are not do not have anything to do with IoT, but I was just giving an analogy so that you can clear this thing in your mind. Okay. So if there is any device, any client one who set QoS equals to 0, then whenever the server or the broker will be sending any information to the client, so it is going to send the information at most once. So either it will not be sending the information or it will be sending the information only once. Okay. After that, whether it received the information, whether it got lost somewhere, whether the information was noisy or whether something was missing in the information, the server is not going to get any follow up from her, from the device. Okay. So QoS 0 means the data sending will be done at most once only. Now, let's say there is another server, another client, which had QoS equals to 1. So here it means that at least once the data needs to be sent to the server. Here it was at most one, here it is at least once. Okay. So here what happens whenever the server sends the data to the client, after that, when the message is sent or the information is sent, the client needs to send an acknowledgement to the server. Okay. And what happens over here, if the acknowledgement is not received, the broker, like the acknowledgement is not received from the client to the server, the broker will resend the message again. Okay, so it is going to acknowledge when it receives the message. For any reason, if it did not receive the message, then it is not going to send the acknowledgement. There will be a time period. Okay, that in this time the server will check, did I receive the acknowledgement? No, let's send it again. So at least once to send, it will be sending the server will be sending the information to the client, but it can send n number of times. Okay, and then we have the last QoS, which is QoS2. QoS2 means that it is an exactly once message sending. It is exactly once message sending. This was at most, this was at least, this is exactly once. So you can understand that this is a two-level handshake. This is a two-level handshake. Okay, handshakes are like they mean something different, but here these acknowledgements can be considered as handshakes. Okay. So what happens over here? Two-level handshake means whenever the server sends some message to the client. Okay, so the client actually sends an acknowledgement that okay, I have received the message. Then this server also sends an acknowledgement that okay, I have got your acknowledgement, and these two acknowledgements means that the data is only transferred once. Okay, so depending on these things, depending on whether the data is important to your machine or not, you will be deciding whether your QoS will be 1, it will be 2, or it will be 3. Now you will say that okay, what is happening here? The data is sent again and again, right? Because again, if the data is not important, then also it is sending, the server is sending the data to the client again and again. If the data is important, then also the server is sending the data to the client again and again. So I will always choose this one. Why do I choose this one or this one if I need to think, okay, what is the case and things like that? Because we are now trying, which is completely wrong. We're trying to do things where we do not need to think, right? Whatever is the easiest, let's do that. But here what will happen? There is a sense of overload. Okay, sense of overhead. So all of them are sending the data. Overhead means more time taking or more resource utilization during the communication. So the least overhead is over here, and the most overhead is over here, highest overhead, because if when the server is sending something to the client, then the client is sending something to the server. So you should always try to have things which has least overhead, because that will keep your system pretty fast. So that is what is really important. Even if you're having high overhead, no problem, but have it in the expense of some performance. Just because you do not want to think of what the scenario should be, you should not be thinking of the overhead, keeping the QoS anything. Okay, so any connection which just goes to the server or the broker goes with a QoS. Depending on the QoS, the server understands that, okay, how do I need to communicate with it? And we have three kinds of QoS, three kinds of communications. Okay, the next thing and the last thing for today would be the topic, right? The topic. See, the topics are something which are generated by us only. The topics are something which are generated by us only. It's like the way you create variables in the coding of MQTT, you will be generating the topics as well. So here there are few properties of the topics which you need to remember. The first one being that for topics are case sensitive. Case sensitive. Let's say there is again there is this room, and then there are four, sorry, this is home, and then there are four rooms like this, and you thought, okay, I will name this room as room and name this as room. Okay, this is completely doable. Okay, you can do it because this is case sensitive. For it, room and room with a small r and room with a capital R, both are different. Okay, secondly, they uses UTF-8 strings. That means these are just not simple strings. These are binarized. That means they are encoded in certain way. Whenever a topic is sent to the broker, they are encoded in a certain way. Okay. Then comes the important thing over here. It can not be null, and this is somewhere implied as well. It cannot be null. Any topic cannot be null. It must consist of at least one character. So one character, I think one character would be one thing, should be at least there in the topic. Okay, now one important thing, there is a topic like this, $sign then sys. This topic is created by the broker. Whenever you you actually start a broker, you actually you try to use a broker, it actually creates this sys topic. This is reserved by the broker to publish information about the broker, which is called metadata of the broker. Okay, this information about the broker will be sent and it will be transferred using this topic. So this is a topic, which means the broker, and it is going to hold the data about the broker only. Okay, and sys can only it is a read only for the clients. Okay, the clients can only read the metadata of the sys topic or the broker. Okay, of course, making the sys broker and how to send the data, there is a whole lot of guideline which the broker follows. Now one broker of MQTT will be Mosquito, which is mostly used. Mosquito. So if I show you, I think it has two themes. MQTT. Eclipse Mosquito. Okay, it is an open source message broker that implements the MQTT protocol. So this is something which can be used for communication between different things using the MQTT protocol. Okay, anyways, coming back to the topics stuff. So here what happens, whenever a topic, like, you do not actually need to initialize a topic or anything like that. Whenever to a new topic a client subscribes, okay, or a client actually publishes some information about some topic, then the topic, like the life of the topic, is started from there. Okay, Now, moving to the next point, a client, like I'm just going to tell you few things about different topics. So the next thing is a client can subscribe to multiple topics. Okay, and for this he can, it can use some things called wild cards. Okay, so there are two important things. One is this hashtag, which means multi-label. It would be good if you keep these things noted down. And then there is this plus sign, which means single label. Okay, I'll also give you one example. If I write field slash hashtag, this means every topic in the field. Or if I, let's say, the same example, there was a house, a room, in the room there was a bulb. If I write, if a client says that subscribe me to home slash hashtag, that means it is going to get the information about each and every appliance, be it any room, be it any floor. It is going to get the information about those appliances. Okay, so hashtag is going to mean that whatever appliances are there, there can be something in the room, then in the room there can be a bathroom, and there can be something in the bathroom as well. So this means multi-leveling in the in the topic. Okay, and second, which was this plus sign, this means a single level. So let's say if I say house, yeah, home slash plus slash main light. Okay, then what it is going to get, if there is this plus, will be changing stuff, right? If there is a room and there is a garage and there is a hall in the same home, so this means house, room main light, house, garage main light, house, hall main light, everything. That means it is going to have information about a single level thing. Whatever comes inside house, any main light in that thing will be accessed over there. But if there is this room and then there is this bathroom, so the main light of this bathroom is not accessed over there. So these are two of the most important wildcards which we use when we create any uh, what are these called, any topics. Okay, now what happens using these wildcards, any client, as I told you, can subscribe to multiple topics. Okay, but any client cannot publish message using the same wildcard wala stuff. Okay, that means their individual topics needs to be information about individual topics needs to be published. Okay, as I told you, the topic creation happens dynamically whenever any subscriber subscribes to the topic or any publisher is publishes to the topic. Now the next thing would be to understand that what happens when a message is published, right? Or what happens when a message is subscribed, or when I said that some packets are sent, like what is there stored in the packets. Okay, so we will be talking about all these things, but in a while, but in tomorrow's class, because today I will be stopping the session right here. So let me know if we have any doubts or anything like that. Let me know if you have any doubts or anything like that. So till the time, I'll just go through what about MQTT we read, because we are still under the case study of smart irrigation. What things do we have in our plate till now? We understood what is a publish subscribe based model. Okay, after that we saw what are topics, messages, the publisher, who is called a publisher, who is called a subscriber. Then we looked at some of the important control packets. Okay, after that we saw what are QoS and what is meant by different QoS and stuff. And finally we looked at the properties, the attributes and the features of topics. Okay, so let me know if you have any doubts. I am just going to mute myself. Let me know if you have any doubts. If not, then we'll become continuing from here tomorrow. And again, tomorrow we'll be starting our. There is only a small part of it left, which I want to share with you. And after that, we will be starting our next project, which is either going to be a game, entry system based game, or it is going to be a distance alert system. Okay. So let me know if you have any doubts. No doubts? Okay, cool. So we will be meeting next tomorrow. Till then, bye bye. Keep learning.